and they're receiving our content.
Yay!
Howdy ho, guys and gals. Welcome to the Saturday Night live stream with Jeff and Jess, a.k.a. Red the Bear, and his lovely Mrs. DeBear. How's everyone doing tonight? Let's do a shout to you all we got in the room. Scorpion Sunday, of course. Walt, hey, how's it going, man? Riley, Don Wilbur, and Dick Tickles. Dan Hill, Bad Ideas Workbench. Oh, I like that idea. Let's see here. Kevin Avery, George Bonnie, Riley Maki, Gunner, 1236. Ronald, Dewey, Don, or I already said Don Wilbur, I believe. And Rodney's in the house. Hey, and, of course, 281 New Edge. How's everyone doing tonight?
Kevin Avery from Alaska.
Seth, how's it going? And, yeah, and real quick, I just was adding this. Let's see here. The new announcement. I even made a graphic. I forgot to add it, of course.
One moment. Please.
Which is when in the live stream, type in at the Den of Tools, and it shows up as that highlighted thing. So we know that you're talking to us specifically and not just chatting with somebody else in the live stream. Anyway, there you go. That's how you do it. Just like, you see these guys down here in the lower right-hand side of your screen, Seth and Scorpion Sunday, they typed at the Den of Tools. In fact, I don't think you have to type the at sign anymore. I think if you just type the Den of Tools, it'll show up. And that lets us know that you're chatting with us and not just chatting amongst yourself or, going off, ranting, talking about, talking to your imaginary friend. It happens.
Dick Tickles says, use the 25% off coupon on the digital micrometer, and we'll put it through the paces this week at work, or the next few weeks, and see how it holds up.
Brian, greeting from Omaha's. Well into the 90s. Oh, man. When I first started doing football, I was at Millard North out near Boys Town. Man, two-a-days in July. Oh, my gosh. It was so horrible. I threw up more than once. Michigan in the house. Wisconsin. Gary Welsh, first time here. Watch your videos. Gary, that's awesome. Thanks a lot. Welcome to the live stream. Thanks for being part of the den. Trucker88, man, he was whacking down the fanboys the other day on the Snap-on the video there. Or was it the wrench one? I think it might have been the wrench one. But yeah, people were not happy about the final answer there. But anyway, thanks a lot for stopping by to say hi. And
Matt is saying, I'm a novice. What kind of guide, etc., should I use to cut plywood with a circular saw?
The easiest thing to do is when you buy some extra plywood and make a small cut, make it like a 4-inch cut of the off the edge of the plywood that has the factory side on it, because those factory sides are pretty accurate. And then you just use some clamps to then you basically make your own straight edge with that, and you use that to clamp to other pieces of plywood and use that as a guide for your saw. Oh, wow, light. That's so much easier on my eyes.
Murphy was
commenting
that you look really red.
That's a poor man's, rib fence there. Joey, how's it going? Doug's in the house. Rodney, of course, from Branson, Missouri. Walls minus the AT. I must have missed that one.
Austin says, I'm looking...
Oh, minus the at. Yeah, I get it.
I'm looking at getting an impact driver and an impact wrench. I'm a do-it-yourself guy, and I work on my family and friends' cars. What would you suggest?
Sorry, I was just looking at Ken Avery. He said he's been out, family health issues. We're really sorry about that, Ken. So what was the question again? He was
Austin is looking to get an impact driver and an impact wrench. He's a do-it-yourself kind of guy, and he works on his family and his friends' cars. What would we suggest?
Family and friends, like the DIY kind of stuff, I would probably suggest... It also depends on what kind of budget and what you want. The Bauer line from Harbor Freight is a great line. They've got a 1/2-inch impact wrench. They've got a 3/8 impact wrench. They've got decent impact drivers and such. What do you call it? The green guys. Ryobi. Ryobi makes some good stuff too. If you want to step up, you're probably going to have to end up in Milwaukee land. But then you're really stepping up in price and batteries and everything across the board. Wow, 105 in Branson. That's horrible. Well, not seeing other chats. That's interesting. At least we have it down here in the window, so you should be able to see it down there.
Daughter of Ra, I did not go to the post office box recently. We had a very long week, and I am so sorry. I thought about it about 5 minutes ago when we were sitting down that I had not checked. I did check in the middle of the week and didn't see anything, but I will definitely check tomorrow.
Yeah, we never got anything. That's weird. It could take a while to get to us because we're kind of out. We're not near any big cities, really. So
yeah, I found that when I ship stuff, if it's going from a big city to a big city, no problem. But there's only 2 sorting locations in Montana, and on more than one occasion,
they take their sweet time.
Accidentally send it to the wrong one.
Ping pong back and forth.
Yes.
Great.
So I apologize that I don't have it to open.
Roger says Jersey's in the house. Lower Michigan 94. Ronald Smith, Altamont Springs, Florida. I love Florida. We need to get down to Florida.
Oh my gosh, the humidity.
Mississippi saying hello.
Hey.
Amarillo, Texas. I wouldn't want to be in Amarillo. Terry, God love you, but I like Texas. I do, but man, the weather down there is
unbearable.
Yeah, I bet. Scorpion's got the new video on his P65 Edge. I'm gonna have to check that out after this. George, how's it going, man? From the Buck from the foothills of North Carolina. I love North Carolina. Hercules, oh yeah. Carl says, are you familiar with Craftsman Extreme Grip sockets for removing rounded fasteners? A local store has a set on clearance for $20. I'm familiar with them. I haven't used them. I can't really speak to the quality and how well they work. Nick Hoffman, for the Emperor! Nick, I think Nick's the one who keeps making the 40K references. For those of you who don't know, 40K is a tabletop game. It's not like Dungeons & Dragons. I guess kind of like that, but you play with little figures on a tabletop called Warhammer, and they have a fantasy version and a Warhammer version. And the Warhammer is called 40K. And I played that with my friends when we were teenagers. And we were the only ones we knew in like 3 states who played it. But, man, I'm a big fan from back in the day. Hey, Bear, Jeffrey says, Menards is starting. I have been hearing that. Traverse City, Michigan, there's a beautiful town. I have been hearing Menards is carrying a bunch of their stuff, getting more and more of it in. I just wish there was a Menards near me. I really don't understand why they haven't expanded out of the area they're in. I guess moving safe and slow, keeping to their supply chains or something. Because, I remember I used to live in Indiana. We had Menards back then, 20, 30 years ago.
Shirker88 says at DOT. Unfortunately, that will not highlight for us. So if you write at DOT, it doesn't highlight.
No.
It says auction off those wrenches from the test. I want one for my collection. Please.
That's not a bad idea. I'm going to have 2 videos coming up regarding those wrenches. We're going to be doing a post-mortem on them. This is the Williams Super Combo wrench, one of the ones that failed. I was really surprised. So Williams is a brand owned by Snap-on, and it was one of the ones that opened up and had a real problem there. The mouth on it opened real wide. But we're going to be testing the box side next. We're going to be putting that through the ringer, and also I'm going to be doing a post-mortem follow-up to show about why I did the method I did. There's also some there's some belief that these wrenches, that you see how they're angled like that, you're always supposed to go towards the short side like this. That's the way they're designed, and that's the way they have the greatest strength. And that's patently false. Now, that's a myth, I think, that arose because that is a rule with adjustable wrenches. But the reason for adjustable wrenches is because you have this piece here that moves. And if you don't do that with an adjustable wrench, that can actually literally snap off because it's not integrated to the wrench itself. A lot of people think that there's a meteor end, and there's not a meteor end. If you get rid of the handle, I don't know if you can see that, that is symmetrical. All right? And the stress line on this, and actually I've got some data to back this up. that, and I ran a company that did physics simulations for 20 years, but, I guess that's not good enough for some people. Let me see here. That's not what I'm trying to show you. Where'd it go? Oh, fail. There it is. So failure happens at the 45 degrees off plane from the point of contact. All right? And I'm giving you guys kind of a little behind the scenes on this. So what that means is this is the plane of contact right here. And if I'm wrenching this way, I have contact on the nut here and contact here. So it's 45 degrees off. So basically, when a break happens on a wrench, it happens at this point where the plane starts to curve at a 45-degree angle. And the wrench, for all intents and purposes, at that area is exactly the same size and symmetrical. So physics-wise, it doesn't change. Some people also thought you got more torque if you did it this way or this way. Anyway, a lot of myths out there. So we're going to be busting some of those. I think I'm probably going to, Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to be posting that video. Anyway, back to the comments. The Dental Earthquake for DIY. Earthquake's great, but Earthquake is professional grade with a professional cost. The other one I didn't mention, and I forgot totally, is Cobalt. Cobalt makes some great, that 24-volt brushless system. They've got a 700 foot-pound impact. They've got a 3/8, and they've got compact. They got stubbies too, and their battery system is super cheap. So, Walt's headed out of chat and rebooting. We'll see you soon, Walt. Godspeed with you. Robert says, just start following you. Love your info. That's great. We're glad to have you here as part of the Den. As I said, we're talking about it. I was on the Maintenance Man. If you guys didn't see it, check out the Maintenance Man's videos, his channel. I did a guest appearance with our brother bear, Justin Dow, and we sat there and we talked tools all night, had a great time. I really love doing those kind of what do they call them? Collabs or collaborations or whatever. Anyway, guest appearances on other people's channels. It's a lot of fun, and I love talking with other tool guys. I always have a great time. So hope to get to do it again. If any of you are creators in something, you want the bear to be a guest on your channel, just let me know. I'm happy to make it happen. Let's see here. Matt says, we took my boat halfway to Branson today. Oh, wow. It was hot even on the lake. Yeah, those kind of days, they're good and bad at the same time. Oh, Chalky Gillis coming in with the $2 holler right at the beginning. Like you.
3.
Hold on. For those of you who are new here, we ring a cowbell every time somebody does a super chat. This is sponsored by Brad's Workbench.
It's going to be loud.
It's going to be loud. So if you have headphones on, you might want to take them off in 3, 2, 1. Yay! Thank you, Cheka.
Cheka, you need to send us your address, not through chat, but just send us an email.
Yeah, we got one of those little wooden stickers we were going to send you.
We really want to send it out.
And you can email me at, here, I'll type it into the chat. Red at denoftools.com. So if you send me your address there, P.O. Box, anybody. If you want to send me someone random person's name, we'll send it to them. I don't care where you want to send.
And also, we had the top donation person.
Yeah.
Alan, if you could send me your contact info.
And we never got that either.
Super great, so that we could get that out to you. So thank you.
Anyway, Hipsters and Hippies says, nice job on the wrench test. Are you going to do a revisit since the typo has been discovered? Yeah, the typo. I forgot to mention that. And measure the open ends of the wrenches that slip. Yes, so that's going to be part of the postmortem we're going to do. And yes, for those of you who didn't notice, I actually gave, of all people, Harbor Freight a worse score than I should have. I moved a decimal point on them and made them move to the bottom of one category. When I adjusted that, it pushed them up far enough to knock. It didn't really help them. I don't think it helped them at all in the rankings, but it knocked Husky into second place, tied with Tecton for the overall score, and gave the win to Gear Wrench, which honestly I felt was less surprising than Husky winning, but the points are so close. The reality of that kind of scoring is you shouldn't really take into account, what the scores are at the end. What you should do is use it as a demo of, hey, I'm interested in this tool. I saw it get pushed through its paces, and I saw how it performed. And maybe some thoughts like if I talk about, hey, these edges are sharp, or this has a good grip, or the teeth on this work really well. Add those as data points. The rest of it's just entertainment. You're not going to get true hardcore science on YouTube. I wish.
Hello, Ricky.
Ricky!
Hi, Ricky.
Our friend in town just had a baby.
Hi.
It's so small.
She is like the cutest, sweetest little nugget ever.
The Raven says, hey, Bear and Mrs. Bear, checking in on the chat. Went to Harbor Freight today and got the lay eyes on the Franklin clamp station. Quality is there. It's better made than my workstation. I've heard that. I really like the little handle thing they have on the front. I've got the Rockwell Jawhorse, which is the original, and I'm apparently going to be getting the Franklin Tuesday or Wednesday. So by the end of the week, maybe for the Thursday video, we'll be doing a full side-by-side comparison. It's going to be nice, if nothing else, just having two of those clamping stations, because then I can put like some big pieces of lumber between them and do all sorts of fun stuff with them.
Matt says, can you call them dodgeball wrenches?
Yeah. Nice. Dick says, Warhammer 40K, Dawn of War. We used to, back in when I ran my company, we would take lunch breaks, and we had an office with about 35 people, and then we had another office about the same size up in just outside of Vancouver, and we had a backbone connection between the two, and we played Canadians versus Americans. And I was hesitating because half the people at our branch in the United States were Canadian. The only
so they were spies.
The only video game or company I knew that had its own hockey team, and we played so much Dawn of War. I love that game. Not as good as the tabletop, but about the closest thing you can get to it. Matt R says, thank you for this channel. I don't know much about tools. Appreciate the info about good tools for the money. Illinois here. That's cool. Thank you so much. What part of Illinois are you from? I had family. I'm a Midwest boy. I had family in the Quad Cities. So, a big Rock Island, East Moline kind of guy. I'm Chicago Cubs, first, professional game I ever went to. So I spent plenty of time in the Illini State. What do you have to say about the Craftsman V20 brush version cordless tool? I did a video on it. I was not... How about this? It's good for the casual homeowner, or the person, or the person living in an apartment who needs to hang stuff and put together. If you're doing casual stuff, it's okay for that. Everything else, no. Hold on, we got coming. Eric Wolf with the $4.99. Love your wrench. Thanks, Eric. Cowbell coming in 3, 2, 1. Hey, real quick, I just got to shout out real quick before we do this. You see the part right here? I always get it backwards. Right there where it says super stickers. Apparently, because we do the live stream all the time, YouTube has decided that we get to be part of their new pilot program. So when you come down here in the chat, down at the bottom, and you click on the part that says, has a little dollar sign that pops up, one of the things you can do is click Super Sticker, and you can send an animated sticker. I honestly don't know much about it, but apparently it's a big deal, and they were very super excited to let us be part of it. So if you decide to do a super chat, you can also do a super sticker. It makes it a little more fun, I guess, and it's the same thing. The money still gets donated to us, and we really appreciate the support. So let me go back and catch up on these comments real quick. Rodney says, how's Elle, my favorite junior artist? He also says hi to Duncan Griffin.
Hi.
Remember, it'd be nice to your parents. They're in charge of your allowance.
We don't have an allowance.
In fact, you know what? Let's cover that real quick. Hey, guys, can you come here for a minute?
Yeah. Out of your mouth.
Come here. So we have, and we'll get back to the comments here in a minute. You're posting right now. I'm sorry, but we need to take a minute to stop and say something. We actually almost postponed tonight's live stream, but we know you all look forward to it. We look forward to it. But we need to talk about bike safety. I just gotta say, we had the worst thing that could ever happen in a community, and that is a young man who was close friends with my children was out biking this past week and rode out in front of a truck and was hit and killed. And he'd been to our house. I had just talked with him the day before. Duncan had been talking with him for the entire day, chatting on their phone, looking forward to going riding. Hey, when we're going to go? Oh, I can't go. Now I can go. I'm going to meet you over the trails. When are you going to be here? And it was, and our condolences and our prayers go out to his parents and the community at large. Everyone is coming together over this. So if you could just take a moment, we're going to take a moment of silence just to pray for a minute for him and his family. Anyway, thank you. I'm sorry to bring this up because we always try to have fun and be engaging and enjoying. We don't try to be super serious on this kind of thing. But it's the height of summer. The kids are out having a great time, and I honestly feel like I could have done more because I knew he was out there riding with the kids, and I feel like I should have talked to them more. I should have. I'm a parent he's not my child, but he's with my children. He's part of our community. And each of us has a responsibility to step up and say something. And I know I talked to my children a whole bunch, and I'm sure his parents talked to him. I'm not saying that they failed or any kind of thing like that. But it just feels like we could have done more. So even if you don't have kids out there, if there are kids in your community riding around, if you see them riding kind of crazy and dodging out in the street, say something. You may come off as the crazy old kook on the corner shouting, "Get off my lawn and don't ride so fast." Who cares? Just say something. Because the alternative is too much to think about. All right. I promise. Thanks, guys. You can go now.
All right.
Love you.
Love you.
Anyway, thank you. Any comments there?
Something about Timo says my dad was trying to tell me the opposite. I don't know what that's about.
Probably about the physics about the wrenches.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of guys who've been using tools for years and years, and that's what they were trained with. Wait for the post-mortem. I'm going to cover all of this, the physics. I even have manuals from the government that talk about this. I also have access to the teams that create a lot of these tools, and I've talked to them and talked to the engineers. I got it from the horse's mouth. So, people are like, I learned it from some guy who turned wrenches for 20 years. I got it from the people who made the wrench. So, Michael says he picked a job site blower by the new Harbor Freight. Not happy with it. Stops working when it gets warm. Some may call it hot. This tool's not working out well for me. Just call me Mike Z. I picked up the job site blower. Is that the new little one? The little tiny thing?
I didn't think it was for job sites.
Or the big blower? That's what I'm trying to understand. Because I've got the big one. It doesn't seem to get hot or anything. So George Bonnie, hey man, how's it going? Glad he was over there at the maintenance man. The Dirt Boy, drill press. Any drill press you recommend? I got the 8-inch from Harbor Freight and it vibrates worse than my wife's Tyson. If you actually bump into it, first of all, you need to bolt it down or make a clamping station for it. Any kind of benchtop drill press, the weight ratio is so off on them because that base is just too small. It doesn't have the mass to hold it down. I like to. In fact, I honestly take that base off you have like a flange pipe base on it, and I bolt that straight to a work surface. The other thing is you need to go through it and tighten everything up around it. As far as the drill press, I love the Harbor Freight drill press line. I've had great luck with it. I have the little 8-inch one, and I have the 17-inch one. Matt says, nice wrench review. Tekton did very well. I was stunned. I didn't pay a lot of attention when I was doing it, and until I sat down and I ran the numbers, I could not believe that Tekton had done so well in the performance. I mean, I knew I liked them. I knew that I thought they looked great and they were great value. I wasn't expecting them to do the best performance-wise, just because you still, in the back of your head, you still have to go, well, it doesn't cost that much. Obviously, Snap-on or Mac or my crazy Labrador. Lay down. Your foot is not a chew toy.
Yeah, she's gone round the bend and she's chewing on her foot.
Mike says Jeff needs earplugs for when you take the cow. Yeah, I should get my shooting things. Mm-hmm. My ear pros. Michael Chesnett, how's it going, man? How about adding some weights to the base of a drill press? For like a floor standing one, I could see that. Anthony, hi, Red and the Bear. Hope you guys are keeping cool. Hotter than Devil's Big Toe. 104. Oh, yeah, well, Northern Indiana. Well, we're up here in Montana over the summer. We tried to avoid our other home, which is Vegas, because it's just not right in the summer. Terry says, I went to a antenna wedding. The ceremony was kind of boring, but the reception was great. Oh, I love that. Love that. Yeah, you got applause from the chicken gallery over there, so.
Actually have a useful set of questions.
Speak up.
Actually have a useful set of questions for the hive mind here. Maybe setting up a shop soon, and we'll need some serious stuff.
Cool. Let her rip. What do they say? Let her rip, Tater Chip.
Yeah.
The Seth says, I've been trying out the Hercules drill at work, keeping up with the Milwaukees, even though the guys at the job site are giving me grief over it. 1/3 the price, same capability. I've been saying it for some time now. People gave me grief for it. And then you see more and more reviews coming out. You see more and more pros picking it up. I'll tell you, once they start really pushing that Hercules line and they get 5 or 6 other good tools out in it, you're going to start seeing it at job sites. It's just because I'll tell you what, I'm not a pro on the job site anymore. But back in the day, if I had to buy something and I could get something cheap and get an instant replacement on it rather than having to put it in a box and send it off, I'd be going with Harbor Freight. Let's see here. Any thoughts on the trim router from Harbor Freight? You know, I've not tried the trim router. I know people keep asking me about the routers. I've got a bunch of routers. I've got a DeWalt trim router that is widely considered to be one of the best in the biz. I've got a Rockwell one, and I've got a bunch of old Sears Craftsman, like full-size routers. I should probably pick one up just to play around with it, but that's not going to happen until we get back to Vegas. Chris says, after trying or thinking about the Harbor Freight compressors, he picked up the 2-gallon Cobalt Quiet-Tech from Lowe's. Very quiet. Haven't used it yet. I've heard great things about it. I've not used them, but the bigger ones I've definitely seen, and those things are fabulous. 24-inch half-thick plate steel at the bottom. Yeah, that'll do it. All right. Oh, here we go.
Oh, wow.
All right, let's do there's the super stickers. That's what they look like. Cool.
Super cool.
That's nifty.
That's awesome.
Look at, they're all animated little.
Yeah.
What's it saying?
One says first.
Oh, fist bump.
Fist bump.
Ah.
The other one says cool.
All right, cowbell for Terry's $2 holler. In 3, 2, oh my gosh, 1. All right, and another one.
Andrew for $3.
Andrew Shappy. Make Shappy happy.
Looks like they've got kiddos. 3,
Go.
2, 1.
The Labrador hates that.
Oh, she's got her duck and she is going bananas.
That's her happy place.
Can I see it? Can I have it?
Matt's 30 minutes from Peoria. Sister lives in Genesso. Your videos have me wanting a Herc drill. Hold on. The Labrador, come on. Come here. Let her have it. Come here. Come here. No, over here. All right, come on. Hop. Hop. Come on. Hop. Oh. Belle. Come here.
She's like totally wound up.
Drop
crazy.
it. Come here. Hop. No. Over here. Come here. Fine. Come on.
She's gonna kill me.
Whoa. It's like feeding those alligators.
Did you see that? That was like attempted murder right there. He just tried to have the dog eat me.
You don't even know. Well, I'll put ketchup on you later. Love to see you restore some old tools. You know, Charles, I'm planning to do that. I've got an old monkey wrench. It's got to be 100 years old. I've been working on tore the whole thing apart. I got to rebuild the handle. I need like a little mini lathe for that. Is the cowbell really necessary? No, but you know, it's fun. And that's why we give you a heads up.
Yep.
At least it's not an air horn. Nick Hoffman says, it appears the Craftsman is replacing Black & Decker, Crescent, and Stanley at Menards. Oh, that's interesting to know. Because, you know, they don't have the same kind of deal like they have at Lowe's. So Menards has a little more leeway in what they carry. It'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out. If any of you are around the Menards and you want to give me a report, or, you know, that's the other thing I've been talking about. If you guys have videos or something, if you want to do a store walkthrough, a Menards, a Northern Tool, Rural King, any of the stuff that I can't, pull out your phone, do a video, email it to me, and I'll post it. I'll give you all the credit and everything else, because, you know, I make the statement all the time that I don't feel this is really my channel. I'm just the bear that gets to host it. It's all about the community. Somebody said, well, when do I get to do a video? And I'm like, anytime you want.
Anytime you want.
I'm happy. We've done it in the past. People have sent videos and stuff. And if it's like a really short one, we'll include it in a bigger video. Or if it's long enough, like around 10 minutes or so, even 5 minutes, we'll give it a standalone video. So sorry, go ahead.
Too fast. Scroll up. Kevin says, I miss our Aces hockey team. Ring the bell again. That was our thing for our Anchorage Aces.
Yeah.
And
that's probably where I get it from. Is I played hockey since I was 7.
The Raven 078 says, got the Avanti hand spray today from Harbor Freight for $59. They let me stack coupons. Excited to use it. Have you used one? I
have not used one. I got to have a chat with the guy who designed them. And I actually have had quite a bit of experience back in the days with different painting stuff. So I had a roommate. We shared a house, and his dad owned a painting crew that painted new construction. And I'd pick up extra jobs and hours from him working on the paint crew. So I have some experience working with a paint crew with an airless spray, running professional airless sprayers. My first business that I started was doing automotive paint touch-up using air sprayers. And then I've done a lot with the old Wagner stuff, and I currently have the latest Wagner version that's basically the Avanti's, a competitor to. And having, that kind of experience, and then talking to this guy, I mean, guy sounds like he's brilliant. Like he really knows his stuff. I've just been waiting for a project where I could actually pick one of those up and use it. Big Baller says, looking for a new impact driver and planning on getting the Hercules 20 volt, but they have been out of stock. And I've then found a Milwaukee for the same price. Thoughts on what to buy? It really depends on what else you're going to need. I'll be honest, it's going to be a little while until the Hercules line is really fleshed out. But here's the thing. If Harbor Freight is near you and convenient and it will work for you now, the Harbor Freight line going forward is going to be less expensive. The batteries are going to be less expensive, and the service is going to be at your doorstep practically. If there's not a Harbor Freight nearby and Milwaukee's easier for you to get to, and you need a bigger section of tools, then go with a Milwaukee. I have nothing against Milwaukee tools. If you've seen my Milwaukee Sucks video, the point of that video for guys who didn't watch the whole thing was, don't be a team player. Buy the tool that works for you. It was just to challenge people and make them think outside the box rather than being like, well, I've got one tool, so I'm just going to buy everything from them. I'm not saying you should buy a different tool from a different company for each one, but there are tools that some companies have that just aren't good, and maybe you do have to buy one. Or maybe go corded for that one tool that doesn't work, that well from that company. Anyway. Dan just took delivery on the Grizzly table saw. I haven't seen that, but I love the Grizzly stuff. I really do. The Grizzly bandsaw is my favorite bandsaw out there for the money. But if I'm buying them, I'm buying them used. Let's see here. It tolls for thee. Austin Miller, what's up, man? Don't lick me, dog. Dog comes up and just starts licking my hand. Buck, thank you so much. It was, yeah. I don't need to go into it anymore. I spent last night just a complete wreck. So we're trying to hold it together tonight. 11-year-old girl down here killed a few days ago. Wave runner collision. That's all the stuff on the lake. I've seen so much of that. And it's people think, well, it's water, so it's completely safe. And that actually, for children, I looked up the statistics prior to this video. About 100 kids a year die in bicycle accidents, but the vast leading majority is water related. Usually drownings, cause they happen after an accident. Thank you, Gunnar. It's just I don't like being that kind of person who's pushy and trying to push my personal views and stuff. And this channel and this live stream has a direction that we normally take, and when I take it off the rails, I feel like I'm kind of forcing you with my bully pulpit here, and I do feel bad about that. I don't feel bad about the way I feel, but I do feel like I'd rather say something and have some of you think, hey, maybe I should say something the next time I see a kid acting unsafe, and you do, because every time it counts. So. Carl says, was at my Lowe's today, and they are scrubbing that place at Cobalt. Good news is, I've seen a lot of the stores that had a full conversion, and it seems like they do still have the real core stuff for Cobalt, at least in the power tools. The hand tools, not nearly as much, but you can still get a lot of it online. What do you think of Napa Carlisle tools? I think they're great tools for the price. So if you saw my wrench video, we had a Carlisle in there, and I looked at the Carlisle stuff. It all feels great in the hand. It really does. I do feel it's a little bit pricey, like the ratchets and stuff. I'm going to just come out and say it. I think that the price that some of these companies charge for the ratchets is criminal. This is not... They're charging this price like it's 1960, like forging this kind of stuff in high tensile strength steel is a big deal. Getting a good chrome plate is a big deal. Almost any company can do it these days. So you can go out and you can buy it. Like I did the budget tool thing, and the Duralast ratchet was the one that was the best. It was a $10 ratchet. So I like the comfort grip. I really do like the shape and feel on the Carlisle stuff and the comfort grip on it. But, I'd probably just get the Harbor Freight because the price difference is just too much. All right, I'm going to zip along here and try to catch up because I know we're way behind. I'm really sorry, everyone.
Wait, did we ring the bell for
Eric Wolf?
Yeah.
Oh, we need another. What is that? Second? It is the second one. I'm so sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
And apparently we need another cowbell.
You need 2 cowbells?
2, 1. I'm pretty sure that our neighbors think that we've lost our minds.
What?
Saturday. That's right. You guys just got a glimpse into our lives.
Yeah, that app that everyone's using online that makes you look old? I took a picture, I used it on me. It made me just look like me. That was a little depressing. Only one pair of glasses tonight, but up on her head. Where are my glasses? I had my glasses here. I was going to... Right. Oh, they're right here. See? Oh, yeah, those are my reading glasses. I was going to do my State Trooper version tonight. Mm-hmm. Walt says, when I was 7, my brother was 7, we got bikes for Christmas. We got bikes and we went out riding. He went around the corner and crashed a car bumper. Yeah, it's when I was the boy, when I was the same age, I actually did something very similar. And the only difference for me is that I was 5 or 6 feet further out when the car turned and came around the corner, and all he did was take out my back tire and basically swept me out. And I took a spill, but I was fine. This was everything but that. The Joe Smith's in the house. Joe, my man, how's
Joe
it going?
Smith.
By the way, we're thinking about changing the name of the channel to Joe Smith and the Bear. Let me know what y'all think about that. He said he had a close call coming home after 10 p.m. in the dark. 3 kids riding no lights. Oh my gosh. On the edge of the highway. I can tell you, I've been a complete wreck driving around town. Just a complete, every turn, everything out of the corner of my eye. I'm sure it's a child running out in the street. I can barely drive my car. Rodney says, I agree. Don't apologize for sharing your thoughts. Thank you, Rodney. I know you're always there for us and you agree and stuff. Jake Gmail Truckin'. Hi, Papa Bear, Mrs. Bear. What's the tattoo of? Hers, mine?
I don't have any tattoos.
You're a liar. This is my Second Amendment tattoo. You know the guys who have the tattoos are like, good and evil and stuff on their knuckles? Well, my version is I've got it says Keep and Bear on a banner there, my 357. And on the other arm there, where is it? There it is. It's there. Can't do it. There it is. Is anchor. And this is actually, now I sail, but I'm not Navy. I just saltwater, sailing boat stuff. And that's it looks like an anchor, but it's actually a cross, an anchor, and then the rope there forms a heart, and it's a Christian tattoo standing for faith, hope, and charity. So, anyway, Indianapolis was hot as Hades today. Stayed indoors with the AC. Yeah, I used to live down in College on College Street downtown in Indy. I loved downtown Indy. It was a great place. Craftsman. Nick says Craftsman appears to be replaced. Oh, we talked about that.
Yep.
Michael says first project will require cutting 4 C channels at various angles. What's a good combination cutting tool and method? Looked at H-mode bandsaw, but sounds slow. Since you're cutting different angles, and you're cutting a bandsaw is one way. Like those portable bandsaws are one way to do that. I think maybe just going at it with a hand grinder and a steady hand and some good face shielding is the way to do that. Mm-hmm. You could also conceivably do that with a Sawzall and a good, bimetal blade on it. Walt says he had survivor's guilt and depression at age 7 and PTSD when I was 11 was burned very bad. Oh, that's right. Yes. I remember that story. I can't even imagine. Why Pop Canada is so hot the igloo is melting.
Oh no.
Boom. Sounds like a old what's his name on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. He's gonna straighten your tie afterwards and do the whole thing.
Truck88 says, I'm heading out to find an electrical gremlin in my Peterbilt AC system, enjoying the channel and rapidly becoming a fan of the live chats. Have a great evening, all.
Oh,
Have
man.
a great evening. Good luck trying to find gremlins.
Yeah, he's not going to have a great evening. Trying to diagnose AC electrical systems is, it's almost always a bad ground.
Okay.
But where is the bad ground is the problem.
Maybe take your phone and listen on YouTube.
Yeah, there you go. The Eric Wolf, you didn't ring my bell for second edition.
We did. Slow.
Like I said, we're way behind in the chats. We're trying to catch up. I thought it was the same one. I'm really sorry. Hey, and everyone, just so you know, we try to, if you notice, I don't just zip through questions. I actually try to stop and answer as in-depth as I can in this format, because I don't like to just, blow past things. But that means that then I have a good tendency to end up missing your comment, which is why I ask for you to do the at the Den of Tools thing, because remember, when you type at the Den of Tools to get our attention, it shows up to us like that. See, I got a graphic and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if we do miss it, don't take it personally. I don't skip anybody. If I don't want to hear you and I want to skip you, I'll just ban you from the channel. We've had people who thought I was skipping them personally. There was an ego thing, like they weren't part of the in crowd or something. It's just not the kind of people we are.
There isn't an in crowd.
Yeah, absent-minded,
Totally.
sure. Male pattern blindness, definitely. But we love everybody, and we want to read all the comments, unless they're inappropriate. In which case, one of our mods here, the guys with the blue wrenches, they will banhammer you. So, anyway. Matt says, I'm looking hard at the Cobalt 26 gallon QuietTech compressor for 300. I think they hit the sweet spot with that one. A lot of guys do. A lot of guys end up going with that one. And that's, as I said, I thought the challenge that Fortress had to meet is they have now the sale price on that Fortress is I think $300. And I gotta say the build quality on the Fortress stuff is some of the best I've seen. But the Cobalt QuietTech at 26 is not a bad system. William Logan, there he is.
I apologize for the yawning. I have not been sleeping well. So it's not that I'm not interested. I'm just very tired.
Yeah, we did not get much sleep the past couple nights.
Yeah.
No, it was. Yep, anyway, moving on. Michael says, we're thinking of steel, not aluminum. I was just assuming it was steel. So, aluminum, you can use a butter knife or something. I kid. Will Harbor Freight bring out an electric mower? I don't know, but I would not be surprised if they came out with a small electric mower in the Lynx line. I could definitely see that happening. Who knows with Bauer? They've got so much else going on.
William Logan,
$2 holler from upstate Vermont. Cowbell in 3, 2, cover your ears, 1.
Thank you so much, William.
Remember, your tinnitus is brought to you by Brad's Workbench, where we want you to be deaf.
Ringing in your ears.
Brad, we tease Brad, but we love him. He's a great guy. He's got a great channel. He's a dad like me. He's got 2 young girls, and he's got a hard job. He works in the oil fields, I think. Pretty sure it's in the oil industry. He travels a lot, and he's trying to get that channel built up. So if you got a minute, go over and check out his channel and give him a thumbs up. If nothing else, maybe consider liking and subscribing. He's a great guy. He's a smart guy. Does a lot of great stuff. So. And in fact, all our mods. I should take a moment to say thank you to all our mods. William Logan, White Pop, who else we got here?
Joe Smith.
Joe Smith's in the house.
Rodney.
Scorpion Sunday. Most of them are creators in their own rights. If you have a minute, they do this for free just out of the goodness of their heart. Have a minute, go over to the channel and give them a thumbs up, give them a like. That doesn't cost anything. It's a great way of saying thank you for the work you do here. Maybe watch a couple of videos. Maybe consider liking and subscribing. It's the worst that can happen is you find more good creators. How horrible would that be?
Great advice. Awesome feedback.
Walt says check out Scout Crafter on YouTube for tool restoration.
What is it?
Scout Crafter. I love tool restoration. I mean, if you guys saw I love restoring old stuff. The old signal box I restored for the missus here. And I had a lot of fun with that one.
I'm sorry, you said Walt suggested that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Walt.
Nick says, Black & Decker and Crescent are gone from my location, and Stanley is not far behind. Oh, jeez. And we got Terry Rafferzetter. I'm always mangling your last name. I'm real sorry. Rafferzetter with the 99-cent off number just for you, sweetie. 3, 2, 1. Toning it down, aren't we?
Okay.
I see what you're doing.
Sorry, next time it'll be extra long.
Oh, she's just feeling bad from everyone's ears.
I'm just
And
you missed.
What?
Says if you didn't go by the tool bear, what other tool animal would you go by? While you're thinking about that, we're going to Joel, aka Shifty.
Mr. Shifty, 99 cents.
3, 2, 1.
right. You want to talk about animals? I'll let you in on a little bit of the personality here of the old bear, which is basically I have 3 totem animals that I.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure where you were going with this.
And that is the bear, which is an old nickname of mine. Is I call the kids that. That's just something that's a family thing we've done for years, even before the channel. When I started thinking about doing the channel, I knew I wanted to do a bear, so that just came naturally. The other one is an otter. Believe it or not, I'm very aquatic by nature. I love being in the water. If the Labrador and I have that in common. If there's water, we're in it. I don't care if it's a puddle or if it's an ocean. I got to be in or on the water. And the other one is...
Or flinging it at my face if it happens to be snow. He likes to make a snowball and get it through the open window in my ear.
But why do I do it?
Because you don't have the sense that God gave a dingo.
Because it's tradition.
Oh, no. He's going to start singing, people.
Tradition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
If I were a rich man.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, I'll stop.
Yep.
So, and the other one is the hawk, specifically red-tailed hawk. It's an Iowa thing. Every time I looked up overhead, there was a red-tailed hawk. And they kind of followed me. And it's so the hawk, the otter, and the bear. The bear is kind of like my core personality. It's my kind of gruff, protective, Papa Bear kind of attitude. The otter is the playful, get in the water, enjoy life, have fun. Enjoy it now because it could be gone tomorrow. And the hawk's more my top-down, intellectual kind of, really removing yourself from all the other stuff that's going on and being able to focus, long distance kind of thing on what's important. Well, those are my 3 kind of spirit animals, if you will. All right, hold on. We're jumping around here. Dale says he tried to pick up the 27-gallon Fortress compressor. I already have the 10-gallon 2.5. The specs look right. It's higher CFM. Am I wasting my money? The only reason you'd be wasting your money is if you can't really make use of it. It's a great, everything in that Fortress line has been fabulous. So, Joe Smith with right to bear arms, more like the right to arm bears. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Hey man, how's it going? Let's see here. Broke Craftsman T55 socket taking the truck bed off. Youch.
Ow. What does an ouch?
Heat index. The Bolins. Hi, how's it going? 105 here in Casimo. Not the smartest time to be hand mixing. 1,600 pounds of cement and pouring footings. Yikes. I read today that despite 4 straight weeks, 80% there's still snow at the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport. We were up in the mountains near our church's retreat center. They have a camp up there where people can go and do all sorts of fun. It's a great place. It's where my drone tried to get absconded by Yetis or Sasquatches.
Sasquatch.
Anyway, we drove further down up into the canyon, up into the wilderness up there. And on the shadowed side that never really gets direct sunlight, there was a mini glacier of snow that's been there. That's still there. It's, we're getting into late July, and there's still got to be a couple 100 feet of snow there. Not depth, but length. It's about 10 feet thick. What happened to Geek Health?
Yes, I'm making a note to myself right now.
She was supposed to take over that channel and basically produce the content because I'm focusing on this one. And she's a lazy slacker, and I'm probably going to get stabbed. So
life happened, and we fell off the wagon. It is still a reality, but I have not been posting. So thank you for calling me out and keeping me accountable.
Random says, my sister came back from her dad's house, and she has head lice for the 4th time.
I have been there about 1,017 times, and I wish I was closer. I'd come help you.
I want to know what's going on in this country, because that never happened when I was a kid. And our son who's got
All of our children.
half black hair, which, if for those of you who don't know, lice have a hard time attaching to black people's hair. The follicles are too thick and their little hooks can't wrap around it to hook onto it. Head lice every year. And that was at a prestigious $26,000 a year school. We weren't paying that. We had a scholarship. But
I'm smart.
because he's smart. Yeah. But everyone we know, it's everywhere. How are all these things, typhoid and all this other stuff making comebacks? How is this happening? It's 2019.
Well, I mean, the other thing, though, is when I was in school, that if you came back to school, you went to the nurse's office.
Are we going to get smallpox again?
Checked your hair.
Yeah, they don't do that.
And they don't do that anymore because children can come to school with lice. And that
because it's not medically threatening.
Yes, basically.
Disgusting.
It's not disgusting. It's just something that needs to get taken care of.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's annoying. It's expensive. I am so sorry that you are dealing with that.
Hipster's Hippie says the 14.5 side cabinets full of drawers is now out in the Skittles colors. Yes, they are. Everything is out in all the colors, and white is around the corner.
But it says no videos on them so far. I think perhaps they're mentioning something.
I didn't do videos because everyone else has done videos, and I did talk about it. I announced it in one of the new stuff coming out videos, but I guess I could do a walk around of the store and show them, but I just was throwing people over to Toolhead's channel and telling them to go check it out because he did a walkthrough when they first came out. In fact, he's the one who did the first video on it. Joe Smith says, Den of Tools misses some of Joe Smith's questions even. Joe Smith was here for 45 minutes before Bear Notice tonight. So if he misses a question, give him 45. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm horrible. I know. I should be wearing my glasses, is what I should be doing. Any experience with the Emax line of compressors? Not a one. Sorry. Maybe somebody here can chime in.
Well, the next person said Eagle Warrior said Sanborn air compressors are better than the Harbor Freight ones. Sure.
There's lots of compressors that are better, but the question is, how much do they cost, and do you need that much better?
So no video.
Seth says, I feel the tired Mrs. Bear. I've been having to drive to Charlottesville, Virginia, 1.5 hours every day for work. Big project at UVA.
Yeah, I did that kind of commute for years.
It wasn't that bad.
It was yeah, you would sleep. Would you trust a Harbor Freight electric motor? Yeah, I've heard great things about those motors. I know a lot of people who put them in table saws and all sorts of stuff. We got a lot of people around here. We're farm country and ranch country. A lot of people use those. They're one of the easiest to pick up affordable electric motors. Nick Scratch says you can get electric motors from the scrapyard for pennies and great build quality like Balder, which that's, you know what? You used to be able to do that regularly. Every time I try to do it, they're not great. The coil in it is swollen, and the money they want for them is astronomical. Yeah, just my experience. And anyway, Nick Hoffman, Dunk.
Yeah.
Oi. Nick Hoffman has a question for the older cub.
Going to the dark side.
A cap saying everywhere. Going to the dark side. A cap saying everywhere or just in Minnesota? Have you ever heard the saying, going to the dark side?
Yeah, it's pretty much...
Not you, Squirrel Monkey Girl.
Oh, what?
No, he has not.
He has not.
Apparently, it's a big saying around them. He wanted to know if it was a regional thing or if all of Cap had that as a phrase.
Wait, what? Cap what? Oh! Civil Air Patrol. Oh,
he is. He didn't.
He's tired as well.
Everyone's been having a rough week.
Yeah.
Mike says just bought the Grizzly. Oh, that's the same one I had, the LX. Have to put it together next week and let you know what I think of it. Love your channel, Mike. You're gonna love that. I gotta say, so the Grizzly, I mean, the whole thing's put together well. The cast iron wheels adds so much stability and weight to that over the aluminum wheels you see in almost all the other stuff. It runs like butter. The only thing I will say is be careful with the trunnions on the table because that's the weak spot on that table, on that bandsaw. Otherwise, just a phenomenal saw. And also remember, if you do consider getting the expansion to lift it up, you can use the expansion from almost any other similar 14-inch bandsaw. You don't have to go with the Grizzly one. There's cheaper ones out there.
Was it Wes? Yeah, Wes was asking about my tattoos.
Oh.
So they are swallows. I'm a big time tattoo nerd. Apparently I got some sun.
You always look better with a little sun kissing going on.
Yeah. So I like older style tattoos.
Traditional.
Traditional ones. And so sailors often got them for how long they have sailed and traveled, and so I just like the symbolism. So I got them. And I have the Om symbol on one wrist, and I have the Staff of Hermes, which is a medical tattoo on this one, which you can't see. And then I have a big one on my back. And I think that's it. The one on my back is a phoenix rising out of flames. And it was actually my first tattoo. And it's really big and on my back. And
go big or go home, huh?
Just leave it at that. But yeah, it was kind of funny because it was my first tattoo and it was very large.
Also, I don't like women with tattoos.
He doesn't. Nope.
But you love somebody for who they are on the inside, not for the horrible things they do to the outside.
That is so true, honey. I'm so glad that you brought that up and I didn't have to.
I love you.
I love you too.
Let's see here. Was that you're answering Wes's there?
Yeah.
Okay. Or her tat. There we go. And a dead tool. No vids here. I don't.
What does that mean?
I don't understand. DR Falcon asked if. Wait a minute. Are we not broadcasting?
I think we should be.
Yeah, looks good. Looking super green.
I would think more people would say.
Well, we're not caught up in the chat. Did you know Harbor Freight once sold Campbell Hausfeld compressors? I did not know that. I'm not surprised, but I didn't know it. Rowdy says, I have the 20-foot flagpole from a friend. How deep should I dig the hole to cement it in?
So I think he means like to stabilize it?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. I would imagine at least a 2-foot. Depends on how heavy the pole is and how big the flag is you're going to put on it. So how much weight and how much tensile, tension is going to get put on it. But I would guess around 2 foot. Juan Castillo Castle says, howdy from Long Beach, California. Question, does Harbor Freight sell axle impact nut sockets? I've been trying to find some for a friend. I haven't seen them. Maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I guess maybe I haven't been paying attention. The John Doe says, lifted the tone arm on El Paso by Marty Robbins to tune in.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
I don't know what that means, but we're glad you're here.
Yes.
Stop, dog. Rodney says 3 to 4 feet at below frost line.
And if it's not broken, fix it. Answered Juan's question.
Oh, good. What was the answer?
Yes, they do.
There you go.
Yeah.
Paul says, question for you on Harbor Freight. My Central Machinery 4.5 grinder finally gave up the Ghost. 2 years. I'm looking at the Bauer and the Hercules. Which one would you recommend? It would depend on how often you use it and what kind, how much runtime you need per use. So if for light duty, medium duty work, go with the Bauer. If you're going to be using it all the time and for long durations, go with the Herc. Bear hand me the Otter tool. Joe Smith sent a custom-made, one-of-a-kind postcard to you today. Since you are in Montana now, Joe Smith sent it via Pony Express. For those of you who don't know, up here is our P.O. box for when we're in Montana. And that's part of our postcard challenge. If you send us a postcard or anything, if you send us a letter, you can use a 3x5 card, whatever. If you send us something with your address on it, we will send you a postcard from Montana. There may be a moose, there may be a bear, it may be from Yellowstone, it may have trains on it. Big train town around here. Anyway, so we're just trying to reach out and say hi and have a personal connection with our fan base.
Terry says, "Bear, hand me the otter tool."
I literally just read that.
Okay. Well, obviously
it was pretty punny. Every time I hear that cowbell, I think of being back gone at some Mississippi State football game.
Yep.
Cowbell reminds me of the SNL skit. Yeah, where is it? Because I was doing that before you guys were here.
No.
Yep.
No.
All right.
No.
We got to do the. Hold on. Yeah.
Don't encourage him.
Sorry, that's real close to the microphone.
Do not encourage him, people.
Anyway, need more cowbell. Why Redbeard and not Red Bear for email? So Red-Beard, I've had that domain for a long time. And when I started the channel, it was before I had the bear, and it was just Redbeard. And then it became Redbeard in the Den of Tools, but it's so confusing because there's a bear, and his name's Red. Everyone thought it was Red Bear, not Redbeard, and then people couldn't find the channel because of that. So that's why we went through that whole name change thing. And I know it was a real pain for everybody, but we went from Redbeard to Redbeard in the Den of Tools to just Den of Tools. And that's why, and that's also why we're changing the email address from red@red-beard.com to red@denoftools.com, just to make it easier for everyone. But my main email address is the red@red-beard.com. That's our family email address. It's, I'm a tech geek from back in the day, so I've owned probably 30 some domains. I should probably sell some of them. If you guys want some fun domains, I got some fun domains for sale. Rock My Whiskey, that one's for sale. Caddy Kings. What else? Oh, I had some good ones. Oh, the what's the one we came up with? The Snuggy one, the snugbastard.com. Anyway, let's see here.
Brad just finished watching VCG Construction. Welcome.
VCGs. Oh, that's awesome. They're good guys over there. There's some people who were trying to start. There's people on the internet, especially on YouTube, who try to start drama. Was trying to say that I was down on Vince and that I didn't like VCG. I've commented all the time over there. I've given them super chats. I think they do great stuff. The only thing I've ever said was, and Vince will say this too, the testing they do is not scientific. And it basically, as I've often said, whichever tool Vince is holding, his tool is going to win because the guy's just got the skills, all right? And there's just no arguing that. Every time he could run a freaking egg beater and he'd beat whoever else he was up against.
I, for one, am shocked that people on the internet sometimes say things that are untrue. I'm shocked.
Shocked, I say. My parents say there's still a little bit of snow on Mount Charleston. I would not be surprised.
Like this?
It's really been sticking around. I'm going to throw a wrench at you.
You're a goofball. He's hopped up on the goofballs, also known as sugar.
Anyone tried the rigid stealth force? I'm debating the stealth force for the M18 Surge. I am not a fan of the liquid impacts. I don't like the power curve. Because with the regular impact, your power curve is a spike. Boom, boom, boom. And with the Surge, it's this hard hit. But if I feel like I can resist the spike more because it's hard, but it's quick, and then it's over, and I can keep the tool on target. With the Surge, or not the, and specifically with the rigid, because I did a review on that 2 years ago when it first came out. You can find it if you search the channel. Is it do this twisting motion every time in my hands because it has this kind of, it's like trying to ride a wave, and I didn't like it. I know a lot of people do, just my personal preference. Nick says, must soon depart. Chapter master, please ensure Luther does not escape while I'm gone. P.S. My apologies for the poor low Gothic. Godspeed for the Emperor.
Dear Falcon, why are bed bugs back? I don't want them back. I have no idea.
Hotel rooms.
I'm not a fan.
That literally is because people travel more. And some people don't take such good care at home with their hygiene and stuff. So they take the bed bugs to the hotels, and then it gets spread from there, and it's a point of contagion. That's my understanding.
I'm going to pass on that.
Because we used to have people travel, and we've had to pay to fumigate people's houses because they brought back bed bugs. It was disgusting. And they're hard to kill, man.
We're going to move on from that because I'm just, no, thank you.
Rodney says, I'm an Aries, so my animal is the ram. Hold on. Dale got we'll do that in just a second. Let me finish this question.
Ramrod. His nickname was Ramrod.
All right, let's go down here and do the Dale Lou said, love the Bear family. Thanks for being you guys. What else could we be?
You are
Cowbell in 3, 2,
1.
There it is. All right. I'm going to jump up here, and we're going to zip through these.
Lickety-split.
We're going to lickety-split. Aries, so my animal is Ram. One of my oldest nicknames was Ramrod. The diseases are coming back because of mass immigration. Carl, that may be, I can see that being an issue. You don't know. You just want to not think it because you think it's mean.
Honey, we're trying to not be longer.
If it's not broken, don't fix it. The DNA of them has changed over time with the drugs to treat them. They stopped using DDT. Yeah, there's that too. The hotel internet connection is failing as fast as possible. We'll try to. Michael.
Oh no.
Sorry. Hopefully we see you around. Rodney says I've been getting eaten up by fleas from the. Oh, I hate fleas. I hate fleas.
That's like the F word in this house.
Yeah.
Fleas. Not happening.
Client Graphics, hey man, how's it going? Have to go attempt to work on new video ideas. Have a great stream, everyone. Thank you, Mr. CG there.
Hey, yeah. Good luck.
Dale Lewis said, I did a render a week before the Skittles came out. Gave you a nod for coining the phrase. Bought and then posted a video on 7/6. Dale, I'll have to check it out, man.
Yay!
Thank you for the nod. That's one thing I always say is if you get inspired by some other channel, just say it. I mean, that's just the decent thing to do. You see me do it all the time.
And where can we see this video?
I got inspired by, I did the 25% off coupon today because Brad did it, so I talked about it. I talked, Toolhead, I've talked about his stuff. I always try to give a nod. Justin Dow. Good evening, non-tool. Recommend a Wi-Fi router. Mine is dying. Thinking of Linksys.
Is what I think you
So Linksys, it's Vegas Vents, man. Vegas. Linksys is not bad. What's the one we have over here? It's that's a Netgear. The Netgear's all right. I'm trying to think of the brand, and it's escaping me. Real quick, let me look it up here.
And while he's looking this up, Dale, if you could post a link to your video that you just did.
Also, if any of you are creators, post a link in the comments right now, and maybe some people can get over there and check out your stuff.
Yep.
TP-Link, if you want to go budget, TP-Link is a great one. The Netgear Nighthawk, that one's good also. Asus, I think is what I was thinking.
Oh, Asus is good.
So I'm a big fan of the the Asus routers. They're multi-antenna, multi-direction, great pickup, especially if you're like, say, in a house with 1.5 thick stone walls. It's a good solution for. Sorry, she just turned on her phone. She has this droppy problem with her phone, and finally it caught up with her.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Do I need to show him?
No. Lies. All lies.
Lies. Hold on. Don't. You can put your foot up there in a second. There you go.
Okay.
Come on. Give me those toes. Popping her toes live on the internet. Sorry, you guys didn't want to know about that. Let's see here. We talked about Vegas Minutes here, man. Some of us give some Delta tool reviews, please. I'm a fan of their products. I'll be honest with you, man. I was a huge fan of Delta. Jet and Delta were my go-to. And when I used to have, in fact, check out one of my videos. I had a Jet table saw, one of the high-end ones I restored, and but I used to be a huge fan. They are not the companies they used to be. Now, the one thing I will say, the Delta One table saw you can pick up at Lowe's is probably the best table saw for the money that you can just go out and get if you're not looking to get into a high-end hybrid or cabinet saw. But for the average homeowner DIYer, it's a fabulous saw. But that's about the best thing I can say about Delta right now, to be honest. I'm sorry I have to say that.
Don't be sorry. It's the reality.
No, I am sorry, because those are companies I grew up with. Like Delta Unisaws. I mean, yeah, sure, the Delta Unisaw is a beast, but at that point you're talking, serious kind of stuff. But everything else from them is, they're bandsaws. Oh, and they're Jet bandsaws. They're not nearly as good as the stuff you get from Grizzly, and they're 2 to 3 times the price. And if at that point I'm going to go with, a Laguna or a what's the other one? Raycon. Raycon would be the one. If I'm going for a big 17-inch, I'm going to get a Raycon. And to be honest, if I'm spending a bunch of money and I'm getting a big table saw, I would probably get a SawStop just because she made me promise that I would.
Yeah.
And the good news is only 2 more years till that patent expires. Then everyone gets the SawStop style saw. And let's see here. Brad says he's thinking about buying a Rigid Gen 5 brushless cordless vacuum for my car. I don't see how you can go wrong with that. Brushless is great for vacuums. Vacuums and sanders, anything that just eats batteries, routers. For drills, it's not really that big an issue. Minnesota is not Fargo, don't you know? Well, you betcha. We get a lot of them up here, don't you know? A lot of the North Dakotans, because they come over here, from over near Bismarck, and they come and they like to, especially over in the Butte. Over in Butte, there's a whole bunch of them. Now, I give them a hard time. I actually love the accent. I think it's adorable.
Those are my people. Those are my people that he's talking about right now. Family so if anybody wants me to smack them.
Half her family's from West Virginia. Half her family is from North Dakota. Oh, I married a good one here. Don't you know?
You married an amazing one.
I did.
Who makes sure that you don't starve and have clean clothes.
Mr. Handlebars, Mountain Handlebars in the house. How's it going?
Handlebars.
Montana Handlebars, whatever.
And Codyology.
Who? What?
Codyology.
Codyology. Hey.
Cody, the radiologist.
Yeah.
Handlebars mountain bike.
It's MT Mountain. He says it stands for Montana Handlebars.
Oh.
Antonio's in the house. Man, how's it going?
Experience with cordless vacuums.
A
Rigid Milwaukee.
The only one we have is the Bauer one, and she loves it. She uses it all over the house. I don't get to use it. I bought it for her, so
it's mine.
I'd like my battery back though.
Whatever.
I have to get a new battery. But the one I replaced it with is a chrome bottom. Okay. Brian says, much better stream quality tonight. Thank you so much. We kicked all the Cubs off the...
Yes, sorry. Also, I don't know if any of you that were not in Montana knew this, but last Saturday, we had an earthquake in Montana during our live stream.
Yeah, and then we lost power.
Yes.
Or they lost power. Yes. Our ISP lost power.
And then we had another one, I think, the following day.
Yeah,
so
Tuesday morning.
Earthquakes happen in Montana.
It was a 4.0.
True story.
Me rolling over in bed's a 4.5. Let's be honest.
Okay.
I lived in California. If it's not a 6 or 6.5.
Oh, you lived in California? I'm from California, the land of earthquakes. I like how he likes to claim
really? Tattooed hippie says what?
You see what he's doing? Mm-hmm. Trying to claim my earthquake.
She was. When we first moved in together, moved into her house, and it was this big kind of long, almost. It felt like, no offense, it felt like a trailer. It was the same kind of layout. It was an actual house,
mm-hmm.
and an earthquake hit one night, and it felt like. You ever grabbed the sheets at the end of the bed and done that snap thing and it rolls down? The house did that. It was spectacular.
Yep. After we realized the semi hadn't just run into our house.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, that's the earth moving.
I wish Harbor Freight brought back their original anvil. Yeah, trying to find a good anvil is,
Yes.
I have gone round and round trying to find a solution on that. The current ones are complete junk. They are. They really are.
Brad says, I just got a Ryobi vacuum at a yard sale today. Plugs into my car. I wasn't impressed, so I wanted one that I could use with a battery and it'd be stronger. I was going to look for Direct Tools. Look at Direct Tools. They have one, I think.
Direct Tools is the online. Actually, they have brick and mortar. It's the clearinghouse for TTI tools, and TTI is Milwaukee, Rigid, and Ryobi. But then also remember Rigid on the flip side, European side. Rigid is just actually a rebranded AEG from Europe. So there's also AEG tools there, which will take a Rigid battery. They're essentially the same as Rigid. They just say AEG rather than Rigid. I didn't send a postcard. DR Fox said I didn't send a postcard, but an interesting letter. Did we get a letter from him?
Thank you. No, I have not checked it again in the last few days.
Bolin says, was at work last week, and this guy was talking about his tattoos, and the other guys were all comparing tattoos. When asked why I don't have any, I replied, you don't put bumper stickers on a Mercedes. Dang. I've often said that I don't like tattoos on women because I think women are already beautiful. Whereas men are, if you say, women are the, S-Class Mercedes, and I'm a, 1973 rusted out Ford F-150. So can't hurt what I look like. And just make it look better. Cover up some of those, those little, mistakes there. Mark Devin says Mac or PC. Oh, let's be honest.
Oh my God! I'm building a PC.
Even Mac has gone PC. So I'm a PC guy from way back then. Always build my own computers. The only time I don't is with laptops. But I've built laptops too, so I don't know what I'm talking about there. Jason says good evening from the Pacific Northwest.
How's everyone dealing with the heat?
Are we not in the Pacific Northwest?
It's been fairly cooler in the 70s in Washington.
In Washington.
Well, it was definitely cooler.
I think it made it into the 80s today.
No, I meant like at night. It's been way cooler.
Oh,
it's like in the 30s.
Yeah.
It
was so cold. Let's see here. Only reason I wanted a cordless one was for on the go is for I had a newborn and messy wife. Yeah, I know that feeling. I meant about the newborn part, not about the messy wife.
Totally, Dad.
Let's see here.
Hey, Antonio.
So I'm just trying to catch up here. God, I'm way behind. Oh, am I this far behind? I am sorry, everyone. All right, let's try to... I know I said I was going to catch up before, and then I settled in and started running my mouth. All right, so we're going to go through quick, get caught up. If I miss something, just repost it, please. Make sure to put at the Den of Tools, because those are the ones I'm definitely reading. Still burning up in Vegas, 103. That's not bad for late July. So Michael says, hotel internet seems to be working better. Had bed bugs in Iraq. Yeah, the Army and a life support contractor at KBR solved it. Used permethrin, killed them dead in one go. That sounds scary. I was thinking about grabbing the Rigid Stealth Force from Direct Cause, but I'm just worried because of the LSA. Oh, because of no LSA. The reason you don't see me talking about Rigid here much is because they have a tendency to weasel out of the LSA. They're not one of the companies I recommend. The tools are great. The company doesn't seem to want to stand behind it. And if they change their attitude and we're more, which is weird because Milwaukee is awesome about standing behind it, same parent company, but maybe it's because they license that from Emerson for this. I don't know. The Den Tools from Daughter Rock. Camping is from LOL. 5 adults and a 2-year-old and a pop-up. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Casey says, any news on the Hercules at Harbor Freight? Yeah, I talked about it before. It's been confirmed. They're making changes to the line. It's coming back. They're not going away. And some people on Reddit are going to have to eat some crow. I'm not going to say I'm going to enjoy it. Totally going to enjoy it.
Terry, good night.
Good night,
Thank
Terry,
you.
man. Thanks for stopping by. Always good to see you here. TP Link all the way. I've done a lot with TP Link. I know it's inexpensive and cheap. You may miss some of the features if you're a more advanced user, but it's good stuff. Home Handyman in the house. Hey, how's it going, man? Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, if you know Justin Dow, Home Handyman is his father, and he's got a great channel. Both good channels to check out. Check them all out. He's saying he has a Davis and Wells bandsaw. That's great.
Restored
great bandsaw.
and love it.
Yeah. Don't use Soho garbage. Oh, yeah. Small office, home office stuff. That's what Zaphiel's recommending. Then, I was talking about Home Handyman and Justin Dow's channel. Great channel. Brad's Workbench. There's another channel. This one maybe not be your sort of thing.
He's amazing.
We kid. We love Brad.
Yeah.
Got to check him out. All right, he's here. Everyone stop talking about him. He's got a bone to pick. Hey, at least I'm not the one like, some little, blushing fanboy trying to get on my channel and using your buddy to sit there and say, he wants to be on your channel. I'm kidding.
Okay, this is like a guy thing. We would love to do something with you, Brad.
No, Maintenance Man said he was going to be on my channel or wanted to be on my channel or something. And Brad and I were both like, what? Anyway, I don't know what it is. I'm somewhat averse to doing the whole distance thing on this channel. I like having people here in-house. Like we've had Doug, and we're going to have some other people coming over. If you're in the Montana area, even if you're not a creator, you just want to come by and say hi, give us a holler, and we'll have you come by and be on the channel. And then back when we're in Vegas, I'm planning to do a whole bunch more collabs where we have people over and we have them, here live in person. I think the interaction's better.
Panther Platform says, don't let me find out this live stream lasts another 3 to 6 hours. You'll just have to stay.
How's it going, man? Who in the chat currently has a Charter Arms revolver? Do you like them? Any problems? Charter Arms has some decent stuff. They've got not the 357. What's the step down? The 3. What is it? The other was 320, 352. I don't know. There's another Magnum that's below the 357, and for some reason I can't think of it right now. And they still want 3. That would be higher. Oh, I guess we'll be going down. Anyway. The SawStop is an excellent table saw. It's not bad. I won't say it's as good as a like a Delta or one of those, but it's within spitting distance, and it's got that nice little safety feature.
Says, speaking of saws, I'm a woodworker, and I got my Herc miter saw and matching stand. It is such a value, tons of power, and love the LED blade shadow.
It's amazing. I was blown away by the quality of that saw. It's one of my favorite stationary tools I have.
Get Seth.
Help me out here. Girlfriend and I are having a debate. Coors or Bud Light? I'm a bourbon drinker, but if I had to drink beers, it's going to be Coors. Bud Light's, good for, rinsing that stain off the concrete.
So Coors won that.
Yeah. Well, you got to be a Coors fan if you're old enough to be an old Smokey the Bandits fan, right? Smokey the Bandits, you got to do your run to get some Coors from
Matt says, when I moved from Minnesota to Kansas City, everyone asked about my accent.
Oh, I bet.
That's right.
Okay, let's keep going. Whatever router you get, you have to get a Raspberry Pi and install Pi-hole on it. It's one of the best ad filters you're going to get. Oh, yeah. I'm like thinking, how am I going to install an app on my trim router? Oh, he means that kind of router. Christopher Kobeck, hey, how's it going, man? What's better, Tecton or Snap-on?
Really?
I got to say Tecton, man. The Tecton here, hold on, let me grab it real quick.
Okay.
I know. I just said we're going to be going on quick here, and here I am reaching for tools. Read some comments.
Yep. Daughter Ross says, Seth, if you want a beer, drink a beer. Antonio says, hey, how are you, Jeff? And
Antonio!
Grismont said, check out the big brain on Bear showing up on Cop Tool and Harbor Freight site. He'll be taking over the entire empire.
I'm on Cop Tool?
Yes, you were.
Oh, that's cool.
Tecton is great value for the money. That's what Dan is saying. Matt is talking to Dad or Raw. Some of us are trying to watch their girlish figures.
I certainly am.
With whatever's going on with Herc, should I get Bauer? Is it good enough for HVAC work? Looks like Casey's asking that question.
I think so. I think from what I've seen from HVAC work, you're just doing quick stuff, punching through sheet metal. You know, it's the one thing I will say is the tool isn't as compact. But you know, maybe check out the 12-volt stuff that Herc has. Here, we set this over there.
Yep. The Bolin said, he's talking to Matt. He said, same here. We moved from Mississippi to Kansas City, and the first time I said, y'all, everyone stopped. And we're like, well, you ain't from around here.
Well, I remember down in northern Kentucky, there's a water tower near the mall, and they had to change it because it used to say, I think it said Florence Mall, and there was some stupid rule that you couldn't have it advertising you couldn't have private advertising on a public thing. So it was going to cost a bunch of money to repaint the whole thing. But the mayor figured out, well, we could just change it to say y'all. And now there's a water tower that says, I think it says, welcome to Florence, y'all. Anyway,
Yep.
Here's the two tools. Look at the finish on can you really tell the difference? Honestly? And you saw the performance in my wrenches video. It's, you know, you can get this one for $33 or this one for, what was it, $6 or something like that. This one, you can warranty if the tool guy comes around and he decides he's going to warranty it, or you can send it back to the back to the corporate. And this one, if you have a problem, you take a picture of it, you upload it to the website, and 2-3 days later, they mail it to you. Why would you go on with Snap-on? Anyway.
And Rodney's agreeing that fleas is literally an F word.
I'm itching because we're talking about fleas. Dan says, compare tools, tool for tool and cost these days. I buy the brand that's the best value, Tecton, Snap-on, etc. It all depends on how much. If you're going to get like a Polar or a line nut, line wrench, everyone agrees you want to go with Snap-on. Diagnostics, Snap-on's one of the best choices. I'm not going to say they're the best because they do some screwy stuff with pricing and really make you kind of chase your own tail on that and spend a bunch of money. That said, you're a small business. You have to buy your own tools. You need to be looking at how much tool does this make? How much money does this tool make me? How much am I spending for this tool? Because that's a cost, profit, benefit margin. Hipster said they had an earthquake in Pennsylvania. It was minor 2.2. That's not an earthquake. That's a semi-truck.
However, it's something that doesn't happen there.
In Pennsylvania, that's true. I'm just being squirrely. Questions. VS questions. What made you do the 10mm wrench test in that specific way? And when are the measurements taken before and after the test? If before, can you re-measure to compare damage? I have a post. I have a follow-up video that's going to cover all of that. It should be out Monday or Tuesday. So I'm not going to get into it here because it's going to be a big, long thing. Yep. You're going to hear all about it.
Yep.
Matt says, I just like beer and I'll pretty much drink any beer. I'm not really a beer fan, to be honest. I mean, on a hot day, cool beer is nice. I'm a bourbon drinker. When I drink, it's bourbon. It might be, usually it's bourbon straight. Sometimes it's bourbon and Coke. Sometimes it's bourbon and lemonade. Usually bourbon.
That sounds awful.
Oh, you've never had a Tennessee lemonade?
It sounds really good.
Griffin says it sounds really good.
That's the way to go on a hot summer day. People with class from the South will tell you that. If you were a good Southern belle, you would know these things.
And we're going to show a demonstration of being stabbed with a pencil.
How to stab someone with a wrench.
Yep.
Oh,
and Excellent. I have so many to choose from. Which one will I use? Those are some loud wrenches.
I was licked too many times by Bella.
Oh, yeah.
Donna, he is slowly fighting back from being a rug there, Mrs. Bear. No.
Nope, still a rug.
Jason Troska, $1.99. You guys are awesome. Thanks for what you do.
Whoa.
Cowbell.
Cowbell. 3, 2, 1. Irritating neighbors. All day long.
All day, every day.
Hold on here. All right. Those who like Duralast tools, lots of clearance at AutoZone. They are. I heard a wicked rumor about this, and since you all are here, you get a share in on this. I heard that Duralast is changing, or AutoZone is changing providers for the Duralast tools because, now get this, they're going to take the quality down because too many professionals are using the tools, beating the snot out of them, and then returning them and using it. And which, why would you not? Because, as I said, they've been some great tools from everything I've seen for the price. Other than that wrench did open up on me, but to be honest, they all were well over, I think all of them were over 300 foot-pounds. On an open-end wrench, you should not be really doing that with a 10mm wrench. And if you are, you probably need to pull a socket on it or use the box end or do something else. Granted, there's going to be cases where that's all you got, but still, it was, more than the average bear would have to use it for.
Scal 92253 says, "Take your time. I'm dining on barbecue pork and a salad."
Enough with the dog.
All right.
Come here. What is
and
this?
Salad.
Live stream.
So you're making the dog be crazy, and you're being crazy and loud while we're trying to talk to our
Patty.
friends. Do you want to apologize to them?
It's raining in Ireland.
Hold on. Someone's going to apologize.
I'm sorry.
Oh, nope. You have to come over here.
Oh, it was okay.
Come here. Come here.
I'm sorry.
You gotta look at the camera.
Are you sorry for being a crazy goblin?
Crazy
Hey,
wombat.
where's the Bauer vacuum? Oh, it doesn't have a battery on it, does it?
Did you steal my battery?
Yeah, I did.
You no good battery thief.
Well, I was working on the trailer.
You heard it here first. So, Patty, hello, and greetings from not Ireland. Thank you for tuning in from Ireland.
Grant, no, I have not checked the batteries yet. I'm really sorry. Went from 110 and frying yesterday to 70. Severe storms today. Oh my gosh. Remember when dealing with rigid LSA, you have to have your paperwork. Yeah, you've got to have, cross your T's, dot your I's.
You told me to bring it.
Do you still want it without the battery?
No.
Go put it back.
Double Gage says, my addiction for buying tools has only grown worse ever since I started watching your... You are not alone. Somebody should probably create a 12-step program for the people who started watching my channel.
Or like at least a tool lending program.
Yeah.
I need my own subreddit. There we go. The Boylan says, I know you made a video in response to the alleged Hercules disappearance, but I've been to 2 stores and totally bare. I mean, they don't have enough stock currently to stock everything. In fact, they've already gotten notices to sell even the displays. As I said, they're totally replacing the drill. I think it's just impacting the cordless stuff, but I know the drill, the hammer drill, and the impact are gone. I don't know if it's affecting the 12-volt stuff, but yeah, that's par for the course. Within a month or so, you'll see it all start stocking back up. I like, Larry asked about what I think about the AutoZone tools. I like them. I really do, especially for the money when they're on sale. When they're on sale, I like them for the money. At the regular street price, I can get better elsewhere. Shut up, Moto.
What?
ACM. The maintenance man, that's how YouTube drama starts. Yes, it is. The random things in the house. How's it going, man? Walt says I bought a 12-volt Palm impact driver after the Cobalt quit the 20-volt line. Almost 2-week phone call, bunch of emails to get the LSA. Yep. 32 H&R Magnum. There you go.
327 Federal, 327 Magnum.
Aforementioned video for the lovely Mrs. Bear, not a gratuitous plug. I want to make it on my own. The Charter Arms is great. 327 Federal. That's the one I was thinking of. Thank you. The or 327 Magnum, which is a great carry round. One thing nice about 357 is you can practice with 38s. You got to do a little bit more cleaning because you get a lot more powder and stuff in there, but they're awesome for that. Manual on top of chat or live chat. Seems like it's all over the place. It's on live chat. I'm trying to catch up because I get behind. Sorry.
Yes.
Do you think more saws will have flesh sensing technology when the saw? It will. I know for a fact, guys. I've talked to 5 different manufacturers, all of them. Of course, whatchamacallit, Bosch, who got sued by them, so they have one. I know 5 different manufacturers who have them fully developed, ready to launch. As soon as that patent dies, they start shipping.
Yep.
What would be some really good screwdrivers to buy? I like the Tekton ones. I really do. I've been using them this past week, working on stuff. I like the shape of them. The price, they're made in the USA. I love the warranty. And I've been on this search for good screwdrivers. I will say, they're not my holy grail of screwdrivers. They're just the best that I found so far. I don't know what I'd say the holy grail is, but I'm still looking for that, but I like them. Breaker 19 for the Bandit. Come on back. Bud Light is a boat very close to water.
It's about very close. Yep.
Oh, about very close to water.
I was at Lowe's today and dropped into the tools section. I am not a fan of the Craftsman ratchets. I'm guessing Craftsman ratchets?
Yeah.
I
hate
typo.
them. I like the feel, but the actual ratcheting motion is just junk. Good evening from West Virginia.
Hey.
Virginia in the house. I love West Virginia. Ticks. Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about. Talking about ticks. All right, we already did a bell ring for Jason.
Thank you again, Jason.
Got the random thing says I got the Pittsburgh dual drive extendable. Didn't we just talk to you about leaving the hound alone?
You said don't
rile her up.
Crazy.
Oh.
Why don't you just leave her alone?
Yep.
Let her be. Let the hound go. Go.
Yep.
Do something over there. He's a good bear, but he gets a little. Yeah. They're very close. Daughter, I take my rug comment back. Oh yeah, I'm destined for the floor.
Well, yes, Bacardi and Diet Pepsi here in a quart mason jar. I don't know about the Bacardi part, but
I like
mason
Bacardi.
Jars. Anything in a mason jar is
Bacardi
delicious.
Dark. I just got the Pittsburgh dual drive extended ratchet 72 teeth. It's a great tool. We used it to fix the kid's bike. A couple days after getting it, Big Bear there went. I said, "Don't just grab the front brake." What's he do? What'd you do, Dunk?
Yeah.
Grab the front brake. Went head over.
It's one of those
ass over tea kettle.
Learning experiences.
Bent the derailleur. He's like, "We have to buy a new one. We have to do this." And I look at him. I'm like, "We're a tool channel. We're gonna fix it."
Yep.
15 minutes later, we got the whole bike torn apart, got the derailleur off, we're fixing it. And we used the Tekton stuff on that, and I used that. And that's the thing. Actually, I'm going to do a video on that because I've got the Pittsburgh, the dual drive where it's 1/4 inch on one side, 3/8 on the other, which I found for bike stuff is phenomenal. It's like the ultimate bike ratchet. So I'm going to be doing a video like that, called the Ultimate Bike Ratchet, because it's great. Mixing your bourbon is alcohol. Mixing your I've always been, for the longest time, 2 fingers of Wild Turkey neat. It's always been my thing. But when you get on in age, your body just doesn't process it the same way, and you got to slow it down. Easy way to do that is mixing it with Coke. Makes it a lot easier to make it last a little bit longer and sip on it. In fact, a lot of times what I do up here is, like probably tonight after the channel, is I'll head down to the bar. I'll have no more than 2 drinks. And I spend that time sitting at the bar on my phone answering comments.
He really does.
I really do.
Can I go with you?
No, you can't.
No.
Why not?
Craftsman has to win back my business. Yes, they do. Right next to the phone, Sip. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Oh, it is. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Today is the anniversary of mankind, of America. You know, they keep trying to take everything away from us. Like, oh, it's a world event. I don't remember the world. You know, what was that whole thing with everyone wants to have some of the cake, but no one wants to bake it?
Yep.
Yeah, don't remember them signing any of the paychecks for that. And also I gotta say, I was born in 1969. So think great things happened in 1969. I was born. We landed on the moon, and Woodstock.
I was waiting for the third one.
It's a trifecta.
Honestly, a little concerned. I'm like, what is the thing that's going to come out of his mouth?
And the whole country changed after that.
Yep.
Not exactly for the better, but Doug says, does Harbor Freight sell line wrenches, or how would someone recommend to them to sell the line wrenches? I thought I saw line wrenches. I don't know. I could have sworn I saw line wrenches.
One moment, please.
Just a second. We're checking the website.
We're looking on.
Let me check again. Line wrench. I'm not seeing them. I thought they had them. I don't know where else I saw it. They don't seem to have them. This is one thing, you don't hear me say this a lot. If I was to buy line wrenches and I was a serious mechanic, I would buy Snap-on. Because I've talked to thousands of mechanics.
Are you marking this date down on your calendar?
And everyone knows I'm not a Snappy fan. Every single one of them, even the guys who don't like Snap-on, buy Snap-on line wrenches. Just the way it is. Some people do things great. They manage that one. For diagnostic, Autel. Dan, you're right. I was trying to think of the name of them. I always skip it. Autel makes a great diagnostic tool. Brad, made in the USA with global materials. Yeah, I love that line. The shame of apologizing. Shame. Shame! Translate to USA, box full of China. It's like Legos, That's. Somebody asked me, I was in the maintenance man's.
Do you mean Lego?
Yeah, it is Lego. Don't call them Legos. I used to do some work for them. They're from the Netherlands. They get really touchy if you call them Legos. They're Lego building blocks.
With an O.
They have no sense. For people who make toys for kids, they have no sense of humor. I just totally forgot what I was saying. The global materials. So in the maintenance man's video, somebody was trying to be down on me saying, well, aren't you happy about Stanley Black & Decker with Craftsman? They built that new factory and they're bringing jobs back to the United States. That factory should have had 5,000 people. 3,500. Probably 3,500 people. It's got 500 because it's fully robotic. Well, guess where those robots were made?
China.
Japan.
Japan.
So the jobs that they're hiring for, they're not skilled jobs. They're here, take this box of raw material, put it in that slot over there. Then the guy at the end, they're not the jobs that we're looking for. They're jobs. Well, we have people on the channel who've worked for Stanley and been on those lines, and they will tell you 100% that I'm accurate, that I'm right on that.
Joe Smith is drinking brandy.
Oh, Joe Smith being all fancy.
Double Gauge says, do any of you know how to make my husband stop moving it when I'm reading?
Where's my soda?
I have no idea.
Read the line.
Where is it? Do any of you guys know where I can buy a Milwaukee battery at a decent price?
No. When they're on sale, you can find sales at Home Depot. Other than that, the only other option is to go third party.
Antonio, we totally understand. He's got to go editing.
Good luck, man.
Editing.
We know how that goes.
Walt was saying check Amazon for cloned batteries.
Yep, that's what I was just talking about. Great job last night with Justin Dow. Great stuff. It was fun watching, listening to y'all. Justin's a great guy, man. I love listening to him. He's got a great channel. It's not family friendly. I think maybe he gets a little into the language a bit. He didn't used to be that bad. He's gotten to it recently, but that's just a reflection of his reality and the stuff he deals with. He's a professional in a private third-party shop. He's the guy doing all the real heavy-duty work, and it's that's his life. But he's honest, and he's 100% honest. And you gotta love him for that. And he's a good guy. He's a family man, and we love talking with him and supporting his channel also. So make sure you check him out.
Somebody else was suggesting VannonBatteries.com.
Yeah, Vannon.
And what was the other one? I just saw it.
Well, they can go through the chat then.
Okay.
For it.
Yeah.
Michael says, love your channel, keep it up. SawStop is pretty darn pricey, but it stands up easily to the best Delta has to offer these days. They do, and they make an excellent job site saw. It's one of the few job site saws that uses a true T-square style fence. I would kill to have that job site saw. It's out of my price range.
Daughter of Ra, thank you. She says, at everyone, we've got 215 watching and only 72 likes. Come on, give it a thumbs up.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Daughter of Ra.
Hey,
that was awesome.
Have we not seen Steve? Is Steve... Well, they're out camping, aren't they? So
maybe. It says, wow, my swipe hates me. Not sure what that means.
My swipe?
Maybe like when she's on her phone.
Oh, yeah, when you're trying to scroll. I know that feeling. Yep. Michael says, wasn't a Charter Arms the gun used on Kennedy and LA and McKinley? I don't know, to be honest.
Elle, you're stealing my pencils.
I know.
Scorpion Sunday says, good night, Bear family. Have a great week. Got to get some sleep. Good night, Scorpion. Have a good one.
Good night.
Ellie Bell says, good night.
Oh, there it was. It was Stanley has lifetime. Stanley, most hand tools these days have a lifetime warranty on it. If you just read it, the question is how easy is it to actually use that lifetime warranty?
Right. How many hoops do you have to jump through?
The new Craftsman screwdrivers are pretty good. How come there's no Hercules impact wrench if Bauer has one too?
Bauer has two.
Here's what happened. So Harbor Freight's pushing out a bunch of new lines. You got to understand what product development is like. It takes time because they've got to make sure that when it hits store shelves, it works. Because if it has problems, they already know they have that they're trying to overcome that image of just doing junk tools. They can't release a prosumer or a pro grade tool that's
without
junk.
Fully
and the big thing with the Hercules is everything else is CE rated. Hercules is going UL rated. Right? That's so you can use it on government work sites and other types of those higher end sites that require for their insurance to have a UL rating. That means more development time. So Hercules, I know the Herc team. I talk to them almost once a week. And the guys over there, they're great guys, but man, they are under the gun. And to be honest, all the love went towards Bauer first because, let's face it, prosumer sells more tools than pro because there's more prosumers out there than there are pros. So Bauer got all the love up front. They got the more funding, the bigger team and stuff. Hercules is playing catch up. They're just now getting to that point where they're realizing, okay, we're behind on this. We're way behind. We got to get caught up. And there's some things I could tell you about how they're doing it that I probably shouldn't get into. But the fact of the matter is that they're going to be doing it in such a way that the ramping up on Herc is going to be much faster than the ramp up on Bauer was. All right. Have you tried Snap-on screwdrivers? If so, how good are they? I have them. I own them. I have tried them. I think they're excellent, to be honest. I like the shape and the feel of them. They're very nimble, and they're very similar to the Tecton ones, actually. I mean, in the fact that they're like a tri-handed, basically like triangle-handed sided design, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but
yeah.
the words, yeah.
The words, it's Saturday night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, word's not.
Brad says, love my rigid octane impact wrench, 179 deal. That rigid octane line has got some power, man.
Saw a video last night showing $370 of Snap-on versus Tecton. Snap-on equals 6 tools, Tecton equals master socket set, impact sockets, impact driver, bits, etc.
Yeah, there's some great memes about like, I spent $375 at Snap-on, and he's got like a keychain and a screwdriver and a Thin Mint or something. The daughter Ross says, time to teach the kids how to play the card game Spoons. Only allowed to play during live streams. LOL. What is Spoons?
I don't know, but our son knows.
It's a game where I forgot how you play it, but you have 7 spoons and stuff. It's fun, but I forgot to play it.
I've never heard of that game.
We will have to
investigate
that.
I've played pitch. I've played euchre. I've played bridge. I've played rummy. I've played hearts, spades. We played Uno tonight.
Good night, Scorpion Sunday.
How about kombucha?
No, I don't think he's interested in kombucha. I'm interested in it, but...
No, not even a little bit.
You know what, honey? You say that now. Let's check back in a year and see if we're all subscribed to kombucha over here.
Not gonna happen.
That might happen.
I got some hippie kind of tendencies, but they're more like, you could also like say they're like prepper kind of tendencies. Like, I want to live off the grid and live a green lifestyle. Only because I'm afraid the government's going to come and get me. Not because I want to make the planet better.
Hashtag kidding. Hashtag not kidding.
Kidding, not kidding. Seriously. What's up, Potato Chip?
Brodo Chip.
Brodo. Oh, it's Brotato Chip.
But you...
Put your glasses on.
Okay. Neither one of us can read. We're blind.
All right. We got to come back here. We come down.
Yes. Oh,
Douglas
my goodness.
Hanneman. You inspired me to get a channel up and going and hopefully inspired entrepreneurs to jump in. I owe you my gratitude. God bless it. Keep on keeping on. Doug, my man, $20 holler there.
3.
You know what that means.
2.
She's going to go crazy.
1. Making the neighbors hate us. Thank you so much, Douglas.
Tell you what, Doug. First of all, everyone check out his channel. I think everyone should start a YouTube channel if you're doing this kind of stuff, because it's a great way to express stuff, and you'd be surprised. Teaching other people how to do things really ends up teaching yourself more than anyone else. And where's that other bear? There it is, down there.
Big one?
Yep. So tell you what, man, if you want, we got a Montana Bear sticker. It's a wood sticker. I know it looks like a
air freshener.
Air freshener. It's not. It's a peel and stick wood sticker, so it's green, see? And if you email us at red@denoftools.com, we'll send this to you. Thank you for the support, man.
Thank you so much.
Teaching to play poker. My oldest knows how to play poker. He was playing online poker, not for real money that you know of.
Obviously not for real money, because that would be illegal.
Like a Mexican beagle. I don't know what that means. It just rhymes. I like rye whiskey, but my true love is beer. I'm a home brewer. I like rye whiskey sometimes, and when I want to spice it up, but my true love is bourbon, and I'm a home distiller.
Where were you during the moon landing?
I was in West Germany.
I was not even a glimmer in either parent's eyeballs. Yes. My mother was very young.
Carl says, I'll probably get crap for this, but I like DeWalt screwdrivers. Yes, you will. No, I tease. I honestly, I've never used the DeWalt screwdrivers. I couldn't really say how good or not good they are.
If it's not broke, fix it. Have a great night.
I remember watching the moon landing on TV like it was yesterday. What software do you use to make the bear? We don't talk about how the bear gets made. Magic, pixie dust, and unicorns.
Yep, unicorns.
Nice Mustang in '69. Yeah, was that the fastback? That was a pretty Mustang. My parents had one. Of course, that went away long before I got to actually see it. We went 4 doors down to watch it on a color TV. I heard that story from a lot of people. I think Craftsman is making a 12-volt power lines tool soon, since DeWalt is coming soon. DeWalt has a 12-volt line already.
Canon. is calling me out for being really old.
Oh yeah, I've already been working on my get off my lawn thing.
Yeah.
I can be out there shouting at the kids. Line wrenches are the same as flare nut wrenches, aren't they? I don't know if they are. Let me look at a flare nut wrench. Yeah, because you're going to use it, a flare nut wrench you're going to use on a line, hence the line wrench. Basically, it's almost a circular wrench with a little gap so it can go over the line, sit down, and use it as a semi-box wrench. And you got to be real careful on those because you're using a compression fitting, so you got to have them seat nice and even. You don't want to be over-torquing it or something. I think, let's see here, line wrenches are the, we already spread that. 69 brought an end to mail order firearms. That's sad. That's what we call an earth sky moment. Hey, I knew a guy that was front row Woodstock for Jimi Hendrix. He might have died 3 years ago, but I miss him. I just can't watch Hendrix and Woodstock. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that national anthem he did, man, that was amazing. Major Weakness in the house. How's it going? Milwaukee Days at Home Depot. Cannon's drinking Crown and Dr. Pepper. Whoa! Nyah, 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 nyah. I'm not a Dr. Pepper. She loves Dr. Pepper.
I like Dr. Pepper. It's delicious.
Dang dog, you a pup. Yeah, I turned 50 this year, so. Matt Porsky says about half my Milwaukee M12 batteries are clones, and they've been comparable to the real Milwaukees. So far, no problems. I've not heard nothing but good things about the clone batteries. Justin's a funny guy. He is a funny guy.
He is.
Anyone tried using the adapter where you can plug a Ryobi battery into Milwaukee DeWalt and other ones? I've seen them. I've not tried them.
Didn't we talk about that last week? Recently, we had a conversation about
yes. That. Cracking neat. I like the bottles. The rum I thought was so-so. I like the bottles. There are no discounts on good batteries. Have them rebuilt by someone who has a clue. Works fine. That's not a bad idea. You know what? Batteries Plus, I think, does that. So, see, and that's the thing is, if you could probably go out and buy dead battery packs for cheap, because the electronics in them are probably fine, and just pull the cells. And the thing is, you can't solder the cells. You have to weld them. You have to get a battery weld. It's a little vampire kind of thing. Puts 2 little tack welds on it and does it really super quick so it doesn't overheat the cell, which is the big enemy there. And that's why you can take it someplace like Batteries Plus, because they're going to have those spot welders.
Slosson's Lawn Care says, what's the summer weather up in Montana? Well, funny you should ask. I was having a discussion with some other locals, and we were discussing whether or not summer actually arrived here.
It did. We had 2 full days of it.
They were not consecutive days.
No.
No. They were like 3 or 4 days apart and had rain in between them.
Odessa, Texas in the house.
Hey.
Larry's drinking Bud Light, watching from Cambridge, Ohio. Oh, Cambridge. I would read GM Guy 3-car there, but I don't know how to bear something. Bear. On my glasses, that looks like a bird.
Ninja.
Bear. Gotta love the icons. Hey, but don't forget, if you do a super chat, you can do the super stickers too, so you can do stuff like that in there.
Okay. Over there.
Does Harbor Freight? I'm gonna bite you. Harbor Freight. Does Harbor Freight want to make the Hercules line as big as the Bauer line? I don't think it will be as big as the Bauer line. In much the same way that the Milwaukee line is not as big as the Ryobi line. The prosumer just has this whole. It just keeps going. With Ryobi, you've got 3 different types of trimmers. You got 4 different types of blowers. You've got a 20 dozen different lights, and you've got garage door openers, wireless or cordless riding lawnmowers. That's insane. And they just came out with a second one, a 0-turn one. It looks fabulous. I think the Herc line is going to be probably 2/3 the size of the Bauer line. No, I keep telling them they need to come out with that cordless coffee maker.
Somebody will listen eventually.
Double Gauge says he bought the 64-piece Husky Impact set a couple weeks ago. He's been very happy with it. I'm going to start trying more Husky stuff. I really am. I've been bad about it. I'm going to start trying more of it. I guess I got the Cobalt Impact, and I love the heck out of that set. The Facebook Marketplace, that's been real hit or miss for me. Christopher Kobeck says, take it easy, Bear, Mrs. Bear. You have a good one. Take care. Car Guy says, I got stung for some honey. Couldn't walk for a day. Oh, yikes.
Still pretty good honey, though.
That is the honey, but, it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
Tecton Torque Wrenches review coming possibly. I love mine. I would like to. It's I've got the Harbor Freight, the Icon torque wrench, the $100 Icon torque wrench. I'd like to pick up some more of those and do a 5 or 6 do a torque wrench comparison. Dick says, I think the Harbor Freight wants the Hercules line to be construction line, Earthquake, the automotive, and Bauer, the prosumer. That's pretty much spot on. But I have heard that there will be impacts coming for the Hercules line. But that's, again, we used to use impacts for driving in the ledger plate for like decks and stuff. There are roles in construction for impact wrenches. So let's see here. Oh, man, I'm really behind this week. I'm really sorry. Teach and Play Poker, we did 64-hour week, finally done. Great way to end it. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Good on you. Title run, not allowed more than 4 cards. First to 4 of kind grabs a spoon. Oh, I've seen that game played. I've never understood it, but I've seen people playing it. Gravis says, I mentioned the Menta wrench, I don't know how to pronounce it, in a video. I hope you can review them. Man, there's a lot of stuff. I saw your comments. I think you made a couple of them. I know they're out there. There's a lot I got to review, and there's so many companies out there. It was a little bit frustrating to review 16 of the most popular wrenches out there, and people saying that my reviews were bogus because I didn't include this one, or where's the Stanley, or where's this German one, or why didn't you review the Japanese ones? I'm like, well,
because we only have so much.
I'll be honest. If you want me to review something that's kind of fringe, the best way to do it is either send me the tool, which some people have done, and I know people are doing, or donate. Do a super chat and say, hey, this is for this tool. We will use that money to buy that tool and do a review on it. But it's just there's only so many dollars in the war chest when it comes to this kind of thing. I just can't go out and buy.
But we will put it on the list.
I know we're super rich and famous, YouTubers and all, but
yeah, about that. I've been needing to have a conversation with you about that.
Well, my wealth that I'm hiding from you.
When I say rich, I mean
rich in love.
In love.
Grant says, have family moving to Helena. We'll be there.
Monday.
We'll be there Monday. Oh, he's a DIY. I told him to check out Den of Tools. Hey, if you guys head through Livingston, give us a holler. We'll meet up for lunch, grab a beer or something.
Yep. And Helena is beautiful.
Scout says, I'm proud of myself this week. Harbor Freight was unable to entice me into the store with that 25%. You got to stay strong, man.
Yeah.
Stay strong.
I think you should write that down, like, in your diary. And that's hard, because we couldn't say that. We were at Harbor Freight this week.
Yeah. Walt Lars says, I have a channel on YouTube. Hey, post a link to it, man. I think you can click on people's names. In this live chat, I can't click on anyone's name, but I think you guys can. And check out their channel. But if not, post a link to your channel, and we'll check them out. David says, any comments on Hilti looking for pro-grade half drills to do mostly metal work? Hilti makes some great tools. They're expensive. And there's less expensive tools that can do the job just as well. Hilti makes their money by selling what they call fleet tools, where they sell to large companies that need fleet service contracts. They're not the kind of company that worries about ones and twos selling to individuals. That's a Milwaukee, DeWalt, Hercules. The fleet guys, the big fleet guys, are people like them, people like Bosch, people like even Makita is really big in fleet tools and sales. As far as drilling metal, any of the higher end brushless stuff is going to be, you can do it with brush, but if you're going to be doing a lot, the thing with drilling metal is you're doing it's running a long time for each one. Like when you're dealing with wood, you're drilling a hole, it's in and out, you're done, you're moving on to the next one. The tool has time to cool down. So a brush tool can handle that better. With metal, you're just staying on that task, and that's where the tool can heat up, and that's probably the kind of case where that as I say, is a case for brushless. Electricians can't install any product that isn't UL listed. Chances are within 5 years they probably can't use any tool that isn't UL listed. Harbor Freight is ahead of the game. Insurance companies are pushing all of this. For those of you who don't know, I'm also a professional drone pilot. A big push is in roof and construction site surveys, because they don't want to send. Every time you send a person aloft, man, their amortization tables just scream. They're like, why send a person aloft when we could be facing a multi-million-dollar lawsuit if they fall, when I can send $1,000 drone up there and just cover that thing if it breaks? Yeah.
Right. And have great footage.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with the UL. They're just trying to cover their butts and make sure that they're not. And for them, it doesn't cost them any money. They just say, we won't cover you unless you do this. The Travis Langier in the house. Good evening. I watched your Snap-on review the other night. You didn't use the flank drive, just Snap-on cheaper wrenches. You're confused. So it is a flank drive. You mean the flank drive plus. And, to say the cheaper wrenches, it's the most expensive wrench there at $33. So it is the flank drive. You're probably thinking of, as I said, the flank drive plus. Miss the Bear cigar. Love the shirt changes. Yeah, the cigar thing was, I like it. I smoke a cigar a couple times a year and stuff. I'm not a huge cigar smoker, but I do. But it was just basically, we're trying to keep the channel family friendly, and I just felt it was the right image to make. A few months ago, I was a few months old when Armstrong stepped out of the lander. My mother had me awake in front of the TV so I could say I watched it. Same here. I was born in February. I apparently was sitting in front of the television in West Germany. What are some good ratcheting wrenches? I'm looking at the gear wrench ones. Are those good? The gear wrench ones are excellent. I have in-house currently, I've got the Harbor Freight, the Cobalt, and sitting right next to me, Hyper Tough, and the Tecton. And honestly, they're all pretty good. The gear wrench are excellent. I gotta say, I love the Tecton ones. The feel on them is top notch, and the warranty is hard to beat. For price, it's hard to beat the Harbor Freight ones, or for that matter, the Hyper Tough ones. Let's see here. Let's catch up here.
Nice.
Have I seen the new C8 Corvette? You mean the Chevy Ferrari? Yeah, I did see that. What's that? Bear is made by Oompa Loompas in the back room since the EP shut down.
Willy Wonka.
They learned to code. Oh, man. Get some Oompa Loompas turning out some code. Zaphiel, thanks for getting on that. My cats get mesmerized by the computer-generated bear on my laptop screen.
Very enticing.
Boylan says, not a tool question, but you all seem to be a truck guy, just a little bit. Have you seen these retro 70s style paint jobs on the new F-150s and some Chevys? Yeah, and I love them. I do. I got a big nostalgia streak a mile long. So I do like some of that stuff.
Gunner 1236.
Good night.
Good
Have a good one.
Night.
How about toolbox covers for the U.S. General toolboxes? Toolbox covers. You mean like the things that cover them to keep them safe, or you mean covering them with a video? Any preference between
See, and I was
Autel,
thinking wraps.
Autel, Matco, Snap-on, Autosys, and Autotest for scan tools? We were just talking about that. I would say if I was buying one today, I would buy Autel. You might want to check out Justin Dow's channel. He did a comparison on some. There's a few other ones out there. I know the Harbor Freight one got a bad rap, but I think they've done some software upgrades to it, and then it's gotten a good bit better there.
The Bolins say that their daughter, who's almost 3, sees the bear on YouTube and always wants to watch, even though she has no idea what you're talking about.
You see, and that's the reason we started doing this, is so that guys and gals who work, they're in the trades, they're in the bays, and they're doing this kind of stuff, and they want to watch this, but they also want to spend time with their family. And here's something, we try to keep it family friendly. We throw in some jokes that anybody can get. And we get a lot of people who sit there and they watch it with their spouse. And I've had a lot of guys say, hey, I watched this with my girlfriend. She thinks it's hilarious. And it's something you can share and still get the information you need. So that's the reason we do it.
I think also for us, because, it's also not a gimmick. Like, our thing isn't like we're family friendly on our YouTube channel and not so in real life.
Oh, no.
Like,
we're all about family.
Yeah, we are. And, if we are thinking about a project or we're going to do a new adventure like RV stuff, or if we one day would like to have a catamaran and do some sailing around the world. And so our kids have watched a lot of catamaran videos. And so our oldest, Duncan, is all of our children are smart and gifted in their own way. But Duncan has a great ability with remembering names and remembering what kind of car something is.
That I understand.
Or, what the difference are between the different catamarans. So for us, it's about, we include our kids in everything. When we go on vacation, our kids go on vacation. We have not, as far as I'm aware of, ever taken a vacation without our children.
Yeah, you have.
Nope.
No. You lost your mind.
So so for us, it is about bringing our kids along on the journey. And so it is a little bit funner. A little bit more fun.
It's more fun.
At least you knew it wasn't a word.
To have an animated bear. And, we're grateful that people can watch with their families. And you may not realize it now, but your kids are soaking up that information.
Yep.
And
they're sponges.
They absolutely are. So thank you for
Did
joining
you
us.
see what Jake said?
No, because I'm blind. Rose for the pretty. Thank you. Thank you so much.
She's married. Back.
Hey, I like yellow roses.
She does. She does love yellow roses.
That's
Yep.
a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the state flower of Texas.
And it is the flower of friendship.
Good to know.
Yeah.
We'll save that for the next trivia night. I thought Hercules would be brushless in my humble. First of all, I need to do a video about when and where brushless is important. I'm not a huge fan of brushless except for specific jobs that require it. And there's reasons, and it's a big long discussion, but I do know they are working on brushless tools as well. Just like every other line offers both brushed and brushless. So, speaking of batteries, did you look at my article on using the Rabbi ones for other things? I did see that. That's something I've been thinking about doing a lot, is using those lithium-ion batteries for other features, and using, trying to create setups where you can get the power out of them easily, but they still have the sensing technology, so you don't go below the level of use and stuff. It was pretty good, actually. If you guys haven't seen it, you should check it out.
Where's the merch, Dad?
Brad says, I can't seem to find clone Craftsman V20 batteries, but I do find great deals on batteries on eBay. Yeah, that is an issue. Toolhead House. Yeah, it comes in with everyone keep it G-rated. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I wish I was there doing HVAC. I didn't work less than 12 hours at all this week. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
That's a heck of a work day. I'm still way behind.
Yep.
I blame you for my issues. I got 42 stack tool chest 2 years ago. Moved my scattered tool collection and found your channel. Now my ratchet's number 19. There's no end in sight. Yeah, that can happen. No kibitzing. Either be part of the chat or don't. It wasn't less than 100 this week in KC, Cannon says.
Unless you're a kid, then you can.
Ryby has pool sweeper. I saw that. As Chaka points out, Ryby is trash.
Yes. Chaka, email us your address so I can mail you something.
For those of you trying to organize, I came across a cool site. I may order Foam Fit Tools. Yeah, I've heard of that. Does Harbor Freight plan on making an ATV lift? I have not seen or heard anything about that. Bolt Lars Ryby zero-turn mowers have great reviews. That's cool.
Question mark. Can I draw on the window?
What?
I got the window.
Oh, she has window markers.
Okay.
Which windows do you want to draw on?
I'm just going to draw on that one.
The one in your room?
No, she's pointing at that one.
Well, I could do my own.
Sure, you can do that room. Don't push on the windows because the house
They're
is really
old, thin glass.
And I don't want to go to the emergency room.
Opinion on the rigid R4512 table saw. Hold on, I gotta look up what that one is again. It is. I had one. I didn't have this one specifically. I had the one that was supposed to have the granite countertop. My countertop had been rebuilt in wooden Formica. It's a great saw if the trunnions are in good shape. They had problems with those saws. At a certain point, they fixed the issue with the trunnions, but they'd get damaged in shipping because they were too soft. They didn't lock in place, and they would bounce around in shipping, and would cause the trunnions to get bent. And there's no way to square it. Bless you. After the fact, it's not a bad saw. But like if you're buying new as far as rigid and stuff, I'd still go with the Delta because it's a better fence design. But it's not a bad saw. Not a bad saw at all. Harbor Freight power tool warranty is trash, Brad says. You
What?
just don't understand the warranty system. They've got probably the best warranty in the industry. You walk in, you hand them the tool, they give you a new tool instantly.
The Boland's awesome card game. Love Dutch Blitz.
We'll have to look that up. Any word on if Duralast is getting another manufacturer? I heard a rumor that they are and that they're downgrading so that professional mechanics will stop using their tools, thrashing them, and then returning them. Apparently, they're losing a lot of money that way. Carl says, I like my DeWalt screwdrivers, and Husky seems to be a bit underrated. Well, if you saw my wrench thing, I definitely came out and said that Husky's right up there. And we're going to be covering a lot more Husky stuff because of that. Daughter Ross says, On got a snuggly little man. Got to get him to bed. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Good night, Ricky.
Good night, Ricky.
Night,
Spoons
Ricky.
is more fun with forks.
Nice.
I love Husky lifetime warranty, no hassle exchange. The only problem with that is it really depends on which store you go into. I went into a store, I didn't have a hassle, but they took their sweet time on it. It took 15 minutes, almost going on 20 minutes to do the exchange. Harbor Freight exchange was less than 3. The Napa exchange was instant. I walked in, he's like, oh, there you go. Boom, boom, boom. Here's your new tool. What do you think will come out for the Bauer line in August? I don't have to think. I know, but I'm not allowed to say.
Stuff will be coming out. Does Harbor Freight plan on making a full-on ATV lift table like the motorcycle lift they already sell?
I haven't had any discussions with the people in that group. They may, and I just don't know about it. They're coming out with over 1,000 new tools in this year, so just read it. I hate when you point to it. I can't see what you're pointing to. Just read the comment.
Are you saying that you're not David Dobrik, and you cannot afford whatever you want?
Of course I can. I'm making rain cash around here.
Monopoly cash.
Pennies.
Yeah.
They hurt. Speaking about the wrench shootout, it was spotlighted on Cop Tool this week's video. Oh, that was nice of them. I keep forgetting it's Saturday. Where'd this week go?
Yeah.
Rich in Love, such a mom answer.
That's right.
She is such a
Rich
mom.
in Love. Mm-hmm.
I thought the wrench review was a good review. I can't believe you had as many wrenches as you did. Must have took you all day.
Yes.
It did.
Took
me a day to shoot it. Took me another day to go through the data. Another day to do the video. Took me forever to get all the wrenches.
Oh my gosh. Yes, there should have been a video called The Epic Journey to get these.
I had to go in a Snap-on truck. Do you know what that was like for me? I thought for sure they were going to bare
I thought somebody was going to take a picture. I thought that I might get like one of those ransom phone calls.
I was on a Snap-on truck. I was on a Matco truck.
Yep.
Was it scary, Dad?
It was terrifying.
Sorry.
Behind enemy lines. Any idea if Harbor Freight will be coming out with any cordless nailers? I don't know, but I have said that we want them. I passed along that we want the cordless nailers.
Scroll. We might be
I'm
getting
working.
close.
DC brush motors have higher stall torque than brushless. Yes, they do. A lot of people don't realize that there's a reason that people still make brushed motors. Helped my sister buying a 5-drawer tool cart last week. It's a bear to put together, but it's real solid. It's a bear to put together.
Wait, was that the one where
The one where we nearly killed ourselves? Yes.
It is a bear to put together.
The moon landing. Keith says the moon landing is my earliest datable memory. Wow. Born in 65. TC, do you really need a dryer connected to your compressor? Is the line? You only need a dryer on your compressor depending on the tools you're using on the other end. And then it's like if you're painting, you definitely want a dryer on it. If you're running tools that require oil, you want a dryer on it because the water will get in the line. Water and oil don't mix. It'll cause problems with lubrication. So quite often what I do is I'll run a split coming out, and I'll have one line that's dryerless, and that's for like just blowing things out, stuff like that, things I don't really worry about. And then the other line will be a dryer line, and it will have a dryer, and they should have their own gauge and everything else. Dick, thanks for jumping in on that. Grant says, I inherited my grandpa's Snap-on tools when he passed away. He engraved his name on each one. I'm talking probably 1,000 pieces. Snap-on won't back them. Guys, if you're thinking about buying Snap-on tools, go look at my video and read the comments from all the people saying, I had Snap-on tools, I bought Snap-on tools, and as soon as I would basically filled up my bench or my tool chest and I didn't need more, he was gone, never to come back. And suddenly, oh, you want to warranty that? I'll just send it back to corporate. I'm not going to warranty it. It's not me saying it to be a hater. I say it because I hear the stories from hundreds, if not thousands of people saying this is their experience and it's real. So, I'd love to see a Hercules cordless nail gun. I really would. I've played around with the Ryobi stuff and with the Works one, and I just love the idea of not having that hose attached for it. Let's see here. C8 Corvette is $60,000. I'm not going to buy a Corvette. They're pretty to look at. I'm not going to buy one. JFlow 444 finally got live with you. Hey, awesome. Glad to have you here. Brad's workbench. 12 hours. Must be nice to work a short day. I always love that one. Oh, you work a 10-hour day? I remember when I used to work 10-hour days. Back when I got started. How is the Cobalt 24 volt? Always wanted to try them because 24 volt seems like it would be good for the power, and the batteries are only they're excellent. They really are, and they just like Harbor Freight, they've been proving time after time that even though it's a discount price doesn't mean it's discount performance. Cavis, I did a whole video on it. Hercules is staying. Don't listen to what you hear on Reddit.
Yeah, it did.
Harbor Freight has a motorcycle lift that will work for ATVs. I guess you could put 2 of them next to each other, right? Tractor Supply has a good ATV riding lawnmower lift. Oh, I need to do more stuff with Tractor Supply. I love that place.
Can I get a riding lawnmower, take the lawnmower part off it, and race it?
Have you tried that? Well, I guess basically just answered that one, didn't we? Oh, it's from the same person.
Question mark.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so we answered that. Yeah, they're great. Have you tried the Supercut Fine Cordless Multi-Tool? I have, and it got hot as a box of rocks, and it nearly burned me, and I was not impressed with it in the least bit. I was at a buddy's house. We were doing a project. He had 2 of them. Both of them did the same thing. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. What are you doing back there, little? Here, Mom's gone. Take the seat.
1273 John Rockville Street. Life is not what it seemed like.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Brad says, there's a funny meme in the oil field that says, you work 40 hours a week, so what do you do after Tuesday? Yeah.
We all know you really came here because of me.
You are the real star of the show. Never had a problem with Harbor Freight returns. Harbor Freight returns are, that's so many people have. The reason Harbor Freight has exploded the way it has is because of their return policy. I 100% believe that. Cheap tools are one thing, but when they stand behind it and it breaks, you just bring it back. That's where the value really lies. Revy Pool Vac is where it's at for small pools. Give it to the kids, and it becomes an auto pool cleaner. Move your paper. You're bothering me, kid. Get out of here. Let's see here. Wonder how Harbor Freight's going to handle the Hercules exchange when this newer model comes. The same way they do every time. Just because they alter the model, you get whatever the newer one is. All those people who bought Hercules, a lot of people. That's what I love on Reddit. All the people were like, that sucks for all you fools who bought into Hercules. No, all those fools who bought into Hercules now, if they got the extended warranty, think about it. A year and a half, if that tool has a problem, or when that tool has a problem, they go back in and exchange it, and they get the latest upgraded one. Gotta like that. Mike says, boss, it's time to snore. DJ Pug is already making night noises. Have fun. Regards to the bright. Thanks, Michael. Love having you here. Then take care. I really wanted Harbor Freight. I wanted the motorcycle list for a long time, but my issue is space in the shop, and I have the Harbor Freight lifting table, so I can just pop the front tire over it, or if the bike's high enough, go underneath of the lifting table, and use a ratcheting strap to lock it to the table and lift with that. There's a 500 and 1,000 pound table. It's, for me, for what I do, it's more than good enough. What are you doing? What are you drawing there? Is that a face? Oh, I see it now. For all those complaining, Tallahassee, Florida, June, July average temperature is 93, humidity 94. Y'all, please. The kids, when they've not really experienced super high humidity, and the other day was one of the few warm days, and it rained because it rains every day up here. And they're walking around going, what is this? We can't breathe. Dad, everything's wet. There's like water on everything. Why is everything wet? I'm like, it's called humidity. But why? Yeah.
Hey,
Why is humidity thing?
West Coast kids.
Why?
They're going to give you the Jimmy Hoffa treatment. What are some good striped bolt sockets?
Hey, can I have a tornado?
We're in the middle of a live stream. I don't know if you noticed that. We're kind of doing something here. I don't know, honestly. Maybe one of you guys can answer that question. What are some good... stripped. There we go. I'm like, what the hell's a striped bolt sockets? I don't know, honestly. I don't use them. It's... When a bolt gets that bad, I get out the multi-tool and cut it off. I get pretty pissy about that sort of thing. I'm like, oh, you're gonna be like that with me. The Will Gray just saying hi. Hey, Will. Or Willie. Sorry. Idiocracy in the house. A cheap oil cooler followed by a water separator makes a great dryer for a compressor. Did a video on that a while back. That's a smart idea. Do you think they're coming out with combo sockets for impact and ratchets? Or do they combo sockets for impact and ratchets? You mean the ones that will do both SAE and metric? I don't know. What is buzzing over here? Sorry, I'm not having a big brain kind of day here, so maybe I'm confused. Me again, Dave. How's it going, man? I imagine a tool truck pulling up, people hopping up, pulling a black hood on the bear before he gets on the tool truck. I was fully expecting to step on that truck and have the dude be like, hey, wait, I know who you are. I'm not selling you anything. Like maybe they'd send out pictures of me or something. I don't know.
It's like Vegas. I slid him a 20. He let you on the truck.
Having a hose attached to any tool is lame. It's 2019. As JFK once said, we can do better. That was my highbrow JFK Boston accent.
With the accents, okay? I need him to get into like a 12-step program.
I'm going to go down to the bar. Smoke us up some clams. Wait, what's that?
You're like sprinkling. What is that?
What is it?
It's
sorry,
not
I don't know
keto.
what it is. I'm just eating it.
It's not keto.
What is this?
We've had them before. They're Snickers squares.
Oh, the Snickers one. The color of the package, I thought it was a $1,000 Grand Bar.
Well, you cannot have any. Goodbye.
Yes, Zaphiel as Kansas. If you put again, let me put it up here. Boom. Please type at the Den of Tools. Actually, you can just type Den of Tools. But if you put the Den of Tools together, it pops up as an orange block on my screen. So I know you're talking to me, and that's what I have to stick to just those. And I've been reading all the other stuff, but I missed some things. If you want to make sure I read it. Actually, the number one, back off, dog. It's chocolate. Chocolate's bad for you.
She thinks it's got peanut butter.
Not especially good for me.
Super chat.
Number one, the bear hit it. Little bear. Number one way to get our attention, super chat. Number two, put it in orange. I try to read every single one of those. I try to go through everything else. I know some people do some typos. It doesn't show up right. We try to read them, but that's also why we're so behind on the chat messages. Let's scroll down here. We're getting close to being caught up. Any news on the upcoming mower drone, like the Works mower? I have not heard anything about the Harbor Freight one. I've seen the Works one. The Works one's great. Husqvarna has lowered the price on theirs. When it's on sale, it's near the price of the Works one, so I might be tempted to go with that. Just because I like saying the name. I've got a Husqvarna.
I've got a Husqvarna.
Walked past a big rack in Lowe's Friday filled with discounted Cobalt tools. I've seen that. Some of them, they've been moving them now rather than just discounting them on the rack. They've been moving them down to a discount rack. They're kind of changing up their methodology. Chris Gilliam, Man Stuff's night, guys. Been great. Thanks for stopping by, Chris. You take care.
Did you see that Josh was asking if you have met the CEO of Harbor Freight?
No, but he has threatened to turn me into a rug. No, I tease.
No, that was Daughter of Ra and me.
And you. No, Eric Schmidt. No, I have not met him. I've never talked to him. There was discussion at some point about maybe saying hi to him at some event I was going to that he was going to be at as well. And then our schedules didn't work out. I don't know if that was him. I don't think that was him pushing it. I think it was some of the guys I know at Harbor Freight trying to introduce me. I have been told specifically that he watches a lot of my videos, but specifically the Harbor Freight focus videos. This is a guy, you want to talk about working a long day? That's a guy who works a 16, 20-hour day. He is focused on his business. And you'll find I have known some of the upper level people in like Silicon Valley and stuff, and people who who start business entrepreneurs. And the good ones, that's all they do is their work, talking about work-life balance. The way they balance it is they have no life. They just work.
Me.
AK what? Oh, because CEO, yes, is CEO of Super Scoopers.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see here. Hi, Baron family. Have you ever tried Mayhew tools, great screwdrivers, and pry bars, reasonable pricing, made right here in Massachusetts? I've heard of them, not tried them. Matthew Bean on the 5 tray. I'm missing something. Was this a reference to something I missed? I don't get the comment. Sorry. Let's see here. That 1,000-pound table is actually higher on my wish list. Musty channel made one. Just put wings on it like he did. I'm gonna have to check that out. Can you write down Musty one channel? This right here. Apparently he put wings on it. I've got the 500-pound one. I want to. I thought I'd be okay with it, but then I realized that because I'm like I don't need 1,000 pounds of lift, but the 1,000-pound lift table goes higher. And what I really want to do is I want to take a grinder, take the front wheels off, and put full swivel wheels to the front, so I have a 360 pivot table. Because that's great for working in the shop. You got a workpiece, you put it on there, you can lift it up to the height you want, especially for us older guys with bad backs who don't like to be bent over all the time. And if you can have a 360 pivot on it, think about it. You can bring it up. It's like having it on a pedestal, and you can just spin it and get great access. It's a great way to work on a piece. Walt Lars is back in chat after a watermelon dessert.
Say what?
I love me some watermelon. Abracane, hey man, how's it going?
I had a question about watermelon.
All right, go on.
Do you eat it plain or do you salt it?
I put vodka. I'm not vodka. Tequila on
I'm
mine.
not talking crazy watermelon freak.
There's good stuff.
Hey, Patricia. Yeah, I keep thinking I'm going to get a clip of him saying, "Shut up, Moto," and using it for my Moto 4 instead of the normal one. That'd be funny.
Somebody asked, Aberkin says, have you seen the Emax Hulk compressors? Go back earlier this year and check out my video. I think it's the first day of the National Hardware Show. I actually spent an hour in the booth talking with the people who make those compressors. Good people. Great compressors. Not cheap.
Not cheap.
David Graham, hi Bear Family and the mods. Oh my gosh, have you lost your mind over there?
Yes, I have.
Our children are out of pocket tonight.
Sorry.
Especially this furry one.
She's like, I don't have pockets.
I just switched to LED and I'm loving it. Oh yeah, you can't go back. Once you've gone full LED, like we do our whole house LED. All my flashlights LED. Everything, I would do LED for everything because you got to understand the power ratio, just the convenience of not having to replace bulbs all the time. And the lighting is way more even. Will Harbor Freight make any batteries bigger than 5 amp hours? Yes. When will they be out? I can't say.
Brad, I would like snacks too. So whatever you're getting, if you could get like 3, so you can have 1 and I can have 2, that would be
We are
great.
sitting here eating snacks. I think he wants some of ours.
Oh.
Come on by. We'll buy you some.
I think I might have eaten your snacks.
Yeah.
But if you come on by,
Drink your
I
milkshake.
promise that I'm the kind of guest that will go out in the middle of the night and get you more snacks. I just said guest. I mean host. You know what I mean.
Sure you do. Patricia Wells is in the house.
I said hi to her.
Oh, did you? Sorry. Hi, Baron family.
Yep.
Do you think they're going to release a 12-volt Craftsman power tool line since DeWalt Extreme is dropping soon? Also, my Craftsman chargers say, yeah, I think they will do a 12-volt Craftsman line. I do.
How do we put it in orange? Do you mean the highlighted thing?
And that is
Okay.
that. When you type at the Den of Tools, it shows up in orange. That way we know that you're saying it. So,
That you're talking to us.
yes. And if you type someone else's name, like say if you typed in at Brad's Workbench, it wouldn't show up. We'd see the at Brad's, like right here where Shadow's Edge says at Brad Eichler. You were talking to him, weren't you? How do you put it in orange? Because you do the same thing. You can do it for each person, not just for me.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm super special and all.
I have a really bad headache. Sorry.
Again?
Yeah.
Story of my life. Got it?
I got it.
That's what makes sure people get it. Wow, jeez. This jumpy thing.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. What's your favorite non-tool channel? Like Practical Engineering. I have one, which we're not asking. One of my favorites is called Keto Connect.
Oh my gosh.
And it's about keto stuff. But on Wednesdays, they have a Murder, She Ate. So they eat food, keto food, and then they talk about like a different kind of mystery or crime.
Hold on, sorry. That last snack there went down kind of badly.
Yeah, that's probably because you should have given it to me.
Probably. So, my favorite non-tool channels. Let me think here. I don't want to talk about politics, but I watch a lot of politics stuff. I really like Tim Pool, his channels, Timcast and the Tim Pool channel. I watch that a lot. I watch Anthony Brian Logan. I watch Off the Ranch and Demolition Ranch. Let's see here. Who else? I watch the Infographics channel. I like that one. There's some fun, entertaining stuff. Tony and Chelsea Northrup. They do a lot of photography stuff. I like to watch their stuff. Oh, was it Red Poppy?
Red Poppy Farm?
Or is it Ranch?
I think it's Ranch.
Yeah, I watch some of his stuff. James Yeager. I like Wrangle Star. He comes and goes. He's gotten a little squirrely lately. Let's see here. Who else do we watch?
I watch a couple RV ones.
Oh, yeah. Big Truck, Big RV. I watch them. I think that's most of the ones I watch on that aren't tool stuff. 70% plus of what I watch is tool related, but yeah, that's the non-tool stuff I watch. I have my subscriptions open so you can see who I subscribe to if you go onto the channel. Does Harbor Freight have any good drivers besides the basic cheap six-piece set? Any suggestions on other brands? For screwdrivers, they have some decent ones, but I'm honestly not a fan. They're okay. They have some Snap-on clones that are okay. But I'd say the Tecton, I reel it for the money, and they're U.S. made. Gotta like them.
Autobahn Dan. What's up from the Silicon Valley? No technology here.
Absolutely zero.
I used to do a whole bunch of tech down there, but got away from that. Anthony Ferraro, yo, Red Bear, what's up? Anyone else watch VCG? Anyone else here watch VCG Construction?
Yep.
Yeah, we watch VCG. I know Vince and the guys over there. Mm-hmm. The nut driver. Nut drivers are a thing that I want to say that I don't need nut drivers because I can get, they make that screwdriver 1/4 inch. You can just pop on any nut you want. But like on a workbench, having to go through and pick it out the right one rather than just be able to reach out and grab a nut driver, that is really useful just for speed of use. Let's see here, what else? Plain water.
Workbench says, who left a window open? And Autobahn Dan got in here.
Jeez.
Nice.
He's attracted to the light like moths.
Oh my gosh, the kids were fascinated by the moths and the light.
Yeah, we need to empty the light bulb there.
That's cool.
Got some bugs in it.
Yeah.
What's
that big one?
I don't want to talk about it right now. Does Harbor Freight plan on making much larger Fortress air compressor like 60 gallons? They have not told me. I don't know. I would be surprised if they did, to be honest. Because at going to those bigger sizes, you're usually, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you're usually going oiled. And I believe all the Fortress stuff is oilless.
Somebody's getting us ice cream.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so nice.
JF Kansas asks, ever look into 3D printing?
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I was part of the whole maker movement back when it all got started. I said I was in the tech industry in San Francisco, in the Bay Area.
Boy.
I did a bunch of stuff with those guys. And I've been to Maker Faire since it first got started. I've been a speaker at a Maker Faire. Guys, Mom just said to stop. Little cub beating here, live on the air. They're like, no, Daddy, don't beat us. So anyway, I've built a couple 3D printers. I currently have one that needs to get tuned up. I got away from it. I built a CNC machine. It's the whole XYZ kind of process. We have sitting right over here. We've got a one of those the Cricut cutters. It's a vinyl cutter, but it also we've got the attachments to cut thin leather and wood and plastics and stuff. I love that whole technology. Does Snap-on still make Blue Point? Yes, they do. And yes, they are made in China and or Spain, I believe.
Kano713 says, what about Yankee Marshall?
I stopped watching Yankee Marshall because he went off the deep end. Yeah. And it's the whole, like, sort of saying, like, if you support the NRA, you're not a real gun guy and stuff. And I used to really like him. I think he's funny and he's got some good points, but he's kind of turned into this zealot extremist on that kind of matter, and it's got to be too much for me.
Tool Hacker says, Redbeard once said that the free AA batteries from Harbor Freight were too short. They don't last long, but they've been okay for me. And I would say it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
And that we definitely had several times where we bought them for something and they absolutely were not the same size. So I totally believe you that they work for you. But I think eventually over time you will get some that are a little bit wonky.
You know, the funny thing about Yankee Marshall is I know he and what's his name from Military Arms Channel, that they kind of feed off of each other. And, you know, they have similar views. But he's managed to be less caustic about it. And I watch a lot of his stuff. He's very good analytically about the firearms that he covers as well. How do I feel about Harbor Freight anvils? For small stuff, they're fine. For serious anvil work, then they ain't going to cut it. Surprised they didn't put a bear trap in one of the tools. Or one of the tool trucks. Are you kidding? I spent $33 on a wrench. They totally got me in a trap.
Yeah, you should have seen my face when I was like, say what? You just spent what?
Forgotten Weapons has some good stuff. Every once in a while. They cover some weapons I really like. Some stuff I don't care about. But I do check them out. So, what is his name? The AK-47 guy. He's got some funny stuff. Just do a search for 50 cal AK-47 and you'll find the guy I'm talking about.
The Russian guy?
No, that guy's long gone. I don't know what happened to him. Brad says, I was mixing concrete with my Craftsman hammer drill and fully charged 2 amp hour and it lasted 10 minutes, not even. I'll be honest, in most cases you want to go corded on mixing concrete and stuff like that. People forget there is still a place on the work site for corded tools.
I just think viscosity.
Cub rug time. Oh, yeah. No, that's totally why it did.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying go with the corded stuff.
Yeah.
Have you used a Harbor Freight utility cart? Which do you like? The lifting cart. That's the one I use. And I've seen the other ones, and I used to have carts like that for other stuff for work. I built a little table that goes on my cart, so when I'm not using it for lifting stuff, I use it as like a side table where I can lay out tools. And then when I'm not using it for anything else, it drops down and it slides under one of my tables, so it gets completely out of the way. I cannot talk about. I've got to do a video on that part. That is the number one tool that you don't have that you definitely need to get.
That you don't know you need to get.
And every person who has listened to me and put it off has said, and I quote, Bear, you say it.
I should have gotten this years ago. Because it's true. When you brought it home, I gave you the look of, okay, why did we bring this home?
And then the kids started using it as a what do you call it, amusement park ride.
Yeah, totally free ride in your garage. You just have to be careful of the little toes. But yeah,
we use it
for all kinds of stuff.
All sorts of stuff. Cub rug time.
Yeah.
Cub in a rug. That cub in a rug, get it? I got a 2-year-old cub that says Tool Bear whenever he hears "Welcome to Redbeard and the Dead Toes," because he's my bear. That's awesome. I love that you guys get to watch with their cubs.
That is so great.
I have a 1-month-old newborn and she loves the tools. Oh, they're very shiny.
Mm-hmm. Stay away from the ones that spin really fast with blades on them.
THC is a great source of gun industry. You're right about that. I do watch that channel religiously. I don't always agree with everything he says, but they got a lot of good content on there, and he's really done a good job, for building a gun channel on YouTube, which is not an easy thing to do. Audubon Dan says, just finished cleaning up with the demo crew left over from the concrete foundation redo of my tool shed. Oh, that'll be a good video. That's not a lot of fun. That's some cleanup. The gun, channel for gun industry news. Tough Later Mouse. I have watched Tough Later Mouse. The Idahoan show does great on home-built prototype arms. And
what was that channel that we were watching that did that whole thing with sheds that people turned into?
Oh, micro homes or small homes. I don't remember what channel it was, but that was pretty cool.
Is good.
Yeah, we got an appreciation, not that we can do it, but for the whole tiny living kind of thing. I spend a lot of time on sailboats, and I understand the whole minimalization concept. And except for tools, I can be fairly Spartan about stuff. TC says, is an air hammer a good way to remove a front wheel hub? An air hammer.
You can ask a mechanic that.
That's kind of what he's doing. You mean an impact wrench? Because an air hammer seems to be a bit overkill for someone. I don't know. Maybe the full-time mechanics can chime in and talk about removing the hub there. But I guess also depends on the vehicle. Brad says, I've been looking for the lifting table. How high is it when it goes all the way down? Your best guess. The smaller one, in fact, you know what? If you look at my video on the table I built for the Harbor Freight. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you being offended by the microphone?
It was irritating me. It was not symmetrical.
My video I did the one video on the Harbor Freight table saw, and then shortly thereafter I made a little mini bench for it. And I made it such a size that you can slide the lifting table underneath and lift it up. So you can get a really good idea if you look at that how high it is as far as perspective. But I'm going to say 9 inches. That about right? Yay high? Seems about right. It's higher than you think, but it's still fairly low. Mm-hmm. It's not like forklift kind of low. I often thought about making some little add-on mini forklifts for it for doing stuff.
I'm a fan of any kind of mini forklift thing.
What do you think of the Harbor Freight electric angle grinder with paddle switch? I like the paddle switch style. I do. Toolbox covers is what I meant. I haven't done anything with them. I don't use them, so I can't really speak about them. Can you use that
6,000-pound Harbor Freight scissor lift in the basement to help level the house
out there in Montana? That's a great idea. Yeah, we got to do something about the foundation out here. So sitting out fire pitting in South Dakota, was telling my daughter about this, and she said he's a bourbon guy. LOL, she was useless.
That's right.
You know, we thought when we came up here, we were talking about it. I was going to do some of these live streams out at, in the side yard, doing the whole fire pit kind of thing. But the mosquitoes have been so bad this year. And the fire will scare them off some, but they'll still come around the backside. And,
I think it will also encourage the fire department to come and have a visit with us.
What are you talking about? The people do it all the time. Does Harbor Freight have any new Predator engines coming out? I don't know. Any thoughts on the Harbor Freight Vanguard extension cords? How are they determined flexibility? I've not used them. I'm sorry to say. I have some of the older Harbor Freight extension cords. They're all right. But, they step up with these newer items. I don't know. Slide hammer. That sounds like the thing there. I see a lot of tiny homes for sale in southwest Wisconsin. After a year on the market, they are now trying to sell them as hunting shacks. Oh, I can see that. That's a great idea. What do you recommend for driver bits? Funny, we were just talking about this over on the live stream on the Maintenance Man's channel that I was on last night. I definitely don't recommend, and you'll see them in my videos because I got them on sale, like a Black Friday sale. They were so super cheap. I bought like 3 or 4 of the Ryobi bits, and I was like, when I opened it up, I'm like, why are there like 6 T20 Torx bits? Oh yeah, it's because they're disposable. Honestly, DeWalt has some decent ones. Milwaukee has some decent ones. Harbor Freight recently has come out in the Hercules lines with some good ones for the price. I've got a set of them, and honestly, that's my go-to set that I use every day when I'm not trying to chew through the rest of those Ryobi ones. But Bosch used to be the really go-to for bits, and I think they've kind of gotten a little long in the tooth, and other people have surpassed them. So I would either go DeWalt, Milwaukee, or the Hercules ones from Harbor Freight.
Audubon Dan says, got to be careful with the LED headlights you get, maybe too bright for the laws in your area.
Oh, yeah. People don't realize all the weird laws there are regarding cars. Especially when we get the guys with the trucks where they get the wheels that stick out past the flares, and they get tickets for that because it throws up rocks is the problem. You should seriously audition for cartoon voices. As they say, I've got a face for radio. Watch South Main Auto when Eric breaks out the big nasty air hammer for those stubborn rusted on hubs. There you go. Bought the Hercules table saw. Love it. Thanks for your input. Glad you got it. I mean, I'm a big fan of it. I'm a bigger fan of bigger table saws. But when you need a portable job site saw, you need a portable job site saw. Was it FYI, the 25 coupon works on table lifts? Yes, it does. Let's see here. Hold on here. Air hammer with a pulley remover attached to the stud bearings are shot and don't want to buy a slide hammer. Rather invest in the air tool. Do you find often that you need an air hammer to get those off? Anyway, this is my... I am not the automotive expert here. I will fully state that. It's, my background is more on the construction side and the technology side. I've owned a lot of cars. I've owned at this point over 60 cars. And I used to do the thing where buy a car and fix it. I mean, basically my rule was buy a car for less than $1,000, fix it up without putting any money into it, just with the tools and stuff that I had, and rebuild what I can and drive it until it dies. And my rule was if I could get it to last a year or longer, then it was an outstanding success when you compare to that how much it would cost to have a car payment. lower insurance, lower investment. And the only reason we started getting with the newer stuff is because I started getting jobs where I had to drive longer distances. We were living in the Central Valley. Everything place you go, and kids, we needed the reliability. But when I was single, that's all I did. I bought, I have 3 to 5 cars at my house at any time.
And when you're single and living that life, that's perfect.
So I've been a professional in the construction industry, professional in the tech industry, definitely shade tree mechanic. Shady tree mechanic. Besides your loyalty to Harbor Freight, do you support any U.S. tool companies like Channel Lock, Wild, or Proto? I don't have loyalty. I don't believe in that. I support a company who does a good job, and if they stop doing that good job, I'm not going to stick with them out of a sense of loyalty. If Harbor Freight, I used to be a Craftsman guy. When Craftsman stopped supporting their tools, I switched to Harbor Freight. I used to be a Rigid guy. When Rigid stopped supporting their tools, at that point, I looked at Cobalt. Then they were kind of iffy as far as their expansion and stuff, and I lucked into the Harbor Freight stuff. So I go where the value is. I have zero loyalty to companies. They're not going to come over and help me fix my car. They're not going to loan me money when I'm late on the rent or something. I think brand loyalty is ridiculous. So as far as American companies, I like to support American companies when I can and when it makes sense. If you've been around the channel, you know I'm a huge SK fan. I love the SK stuff. I talk about Tekton a lot. Now, granted, most of Tekton's tools are made in Taiwan, but a lot of their tools, I talked about many times tonight, their screwdrivers are made in the U.S., their pry bars, all that kind of non-polished chrome stuff made in the U.S. They have a couple items made in China, but it's like 5% of their overall tools. Western Forge, all that stuff's made in the U.S. So I support U.S. tool companies when they actually make them in the U.S. I have a hard time with Proto because I'm not a big fan of Stanley Black & Decker and their business policies. They're not an easy tool to get a hold of except through ordering like through Grainger or something like that. Anyway, the Channel Lock, I have old school Channel Locks. The newer stuff I've not been as excited about, but if you watch my videos, you'll see old school Channel Locks in there all the time. The old teal handle ones. Hercules job site software, $279 in the flyer. Hey, thanks for the heads up on that. That's not the best one, but I heard that's a good price. Mr. Peanut Butter in the house. I got on as soon as Duncan told me you were streaming. Awesome. Mr. Peanut Butter?
Yeah.
Let's see here. If you work on rusty stuff, well, that's what I was saying. If it's older and hasn't been serviced in a long time, then yeah, you're going to see that. The Grant says, looking to tear out my homemade bench, would you recommend a bench with drawers with a hard top? Here's my thing, and I should do a video on this also. A lot of guys ask these questions about what kind of bench I should use in this. Benches are tools, just like everything else. And you need to have different benches for different kinds of work. If you're doing something that's got a lot of hammering, you're getting your weight, you're bearing down on stuff, pun intended, you want a low workbench with a hard but not flexible, but can accept impact. So like a bench top made out of like 2x4s turned on their side and laminated together. It's a great workbench for that sort of thing. Because you can pound on it. If a hammer slips, it hits the wood, no biggie. For detail work, like you're working with like electronics or small stuff, I like a hard, smooth-topped bench, usually with like a Formica or an MDF style laminated top, and either like it table height with a chair that I can actually sit down in, or raised up really high so you can have it right up here. Now here's the difference, because you're working, you want to be right on top of it, you're doing delicate kind of work versus being low where you can get your weight on top of it. And then you have your average workbench, which is in the mid-30s kind of height, and you can use the kind of surface that you want for the kind of work you're going to do. If you're going to be working with a lot of oils and something like that, you probably want some sort of oil resistant, easy to clean work surface. If you're going to be pounding on it a bunch, you probably want something that can withstand impacts. So it's I hate to say, but it's the right tool for the job. I often have 2 to 3 workstations in my shop. Oh, that said, Home Depot. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Home Depot has this new workbench. When we get back to Vegas, I might be giving this a try. And that is adjustable height workbench. Go away.
He's not talking to you.
Oh, it was a pop-up. Oh, I don't see. They have one. I see one on there, but it's currently $260. They had an all-white one with a wood top for $200, and it looked often like what you would see for a adjustable desk. And now this isn't the one, because the one they had actually had 2 drawers in it as well. And man, I wanted to put them all over my house. I was honestly getting them for a desk. I was a little obsessed about it.
Just a lot.
You don't know.
I do know.
You don't even know.
I married it. That's how much I know.
Where is it? Oh, wait. Oh, there it is. It's currently $269, so not the sale price. So let me see here if I can do that. There it is.
Ta-da!
So it's got a hand crank on the right-hand side. You've got 2 mechanic-style drawers. I'm not going to suggest filling them with heavy sockets and stuff, but this you could change. This is your Swiss Army knife, if you will, because you can raise it up to a detail level height. You can lower it to an average workbench height. You can lower it still if you got to get something heavy up on it. I don't think it's going to hold an engine block or something like that. And then you can have 2 drawers there with all your, like put tape measures, yardsticks, pencils, and ink markers and stuff on it, die markers. And anyway, I think that seems like a really great solution. Anyway, moving on.
We were caught up, and then something happened.
Pilot George, forget air slide hammers. Sledgehammers are sometimes the way to go on some jobs. I go old school on that. So I have a couple. I have some small sledges. I have engineering hammers. I love engineering hammers. And then I've got some bigger, and of course, dead blows. I got a lot of hammers. I like to hit stuff. So there we go. My method for removing wheel hubs is usually a hammer and a freshly sharpened cold steel chisel, or cold chisel. Are Cornwall tools any good? Never seen them, but I see their trucks all the time. I've not used them, but I know a lot of guys who swear by them. That's really all I can say on that. Nathan says, so you don't care about the U.S. economy? Yeah, if you think that's the truth, you don't understand economics. I'm somebody who's run a multi-million-dollar business, so if you want to get into economics, we can have that discussion. And I can tell right now by you making that comment, you don't. So we're going to move on. TC says, your input is great. I'm the same way, keeping my cars alive. I'm done with car payments in my garage. And your info revolves around my pocket garage. My methods are grease monkey sometimes. Yeah,
What do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Ottoman Dan says he owns a Toyota Camry. Like the reliability. I like the old boxy style Camrys. Those are really nice.
PC, bedtime, have a great night from Atlanta.
Zach, I got a full set of 3/8-inch gray pneumatic duo sockets. Best full set I could get for the price. Ronnie says, take care, Jeff and Jesse Cubs. I'm going to head out early tonight. Been a long 3 weeks. Moving my, I know, I bet you're worn out. I do stuff like that, and it'll take me a month or 2 to recover.
And trying to be fresh for church tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. How you like these, Zach? I was looking. Oh, okay. Digitals, God bless you all, my friend. Good night, Rodney.
Have a good night, Rodney.
Klein Tools sells replacement plastic handles slip or much better that grip drip in a can. Well, Klein sells replacements. Plastic handles slip on much better.
Basically, they're saying they sell replacement handles rather than having to dip.
I like the dipped handles. I do. Maybe I'm just, as I said, old school. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Hello, fathers and friends. Oh, Mad Bad Bear in the house. The Dentals, does the bear ever watch Essential Craftsman channel? I like the Essential Craftsman. He's got some great stuff on there. You know, I've been thinking about doing some of those style of videos too. There's a lot of tools like I always assume that people know how to use a sawzall, reciprocating saw. And then I see somebody without the shoe, I know I call it the foot all the time, placed against the workpiece. You know, another one is multi-tools. They go in, they start going straight in, and then they don't change. But you got to understand with the multi-tool, when you're cutting, especially with like wood and stuff, the shavings, like the sawdust, fills up those teeth, and it just starts gliding across, and it can't make any more cuts. You've got to move that piece to work that sawdust out of the cut. And if you don't, you're going to be cutting at it for a long time. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that. But yes, Essential Craftsman, great channel. There's a Sears Craftsman workbench which looks like a super heavy-duty version of the angle iron Harbor Freight one. I've seen those. Every time I've gone to Sears, they've been completely out of any of that stuff. And they're like, we're waiting on a shipment from the manufacturer who won't take our credit, so we have to pay them up front, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. Tom says, I know you missed the sale. It was one. Yes, I did. But we're up here in Montana. We just don't have room. Just ask Shadow's Edge. He's been in our house. Yeah. He's a little tiny up here.
Yeah.
I would love to have one. We could have replaced this table with one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This thing weighs a metric ton.
It really does. I think it was like the first prototype for a table.
Matt says, wow, I have just the space for that Husky bench. Well, if you get one,
take pictures.
I want to see it. I've played with it in the store. I really like it. I'm kind of obsessed about it. You build it, we destroy it. Best workbench made. I made from a steel plate and 2 sets of landing gear from a Great Dane trailer. That sounds pretty awesome. Hey, Random Sandwiches in the house, man. How's it going?
Hey.
Just checking the age limit here. Am I past it?
No, I think perhaps I was thinking it was like 55 plus. Was the joke.
Nice. We're at 3 hours and 17 minutes. Yeah, because Simon Tech says, "Wow, you're still on." Yeah, we do. We try to do 4 hours every night, and
every week.
People ask, Shadow's Edge. You know, a lot of people are like, "How do you do it?" When you're here and you're responding to comments, it just kind of flows. The hipster's at 30. I'm 50. She's like 17.
Some days I'm like 71.
Boylan says, I guess I'm just cheap on the workbench. I bought a bunch of old cabinets from a restore, and no, the 2-inch MDF cabinets. That's what I did. You know, I got, and for my tech workbench before, if you saw my old videos, I had a corner of laminated MDF. Sorry, I need to adjust myself in my chair. I had a corner one from one of those cubicles. That stuff is, if you can get that MDF from a cubicle kind of stuff, it's about this thick. It's got like a Formica or whatever kind of top on it. Whack it with a hammer and watch what happens. I bet it bounces. And oil comes right off of it. It's really easy to see little pieces and stuff. And I put it in a corner of my my garage. I took 2 1-foot pieces of 2x4 and I bolted it right where I wanted it. And I measured the distance and I bolted 2 above it. And I slotted it right in there. And I put an end cap on either piece so it couldn't slide this way and it couldn't slide that way. And it locked it in as a floating table. And that thing was awesome. It was a great work site. And then you got the pass-throughs. You get a nice little grommet on it, so you can run wires and stuff down there. Use it as a soldering station. You know, they're great.
I'm helping Duncan in again.
Are you?
Yeah.
Zaffy says, I know who they're marketing that bench to. I walked by it, and it was like, I ain't paying anywhere close to that for a flat surface. Let's see, who else we got here? I just saw another one here. Echo Belkin says, I read your book, curious as to the world travels. I bought the Harbor Freight wood chipper, pretty happy with it. Is it the green one or the Predator? And as far as the world travels, I have, I got a bit of wanderlust in me. I like to go and see places and do things and just get out there. In fact, the missus and I, we were talking our dream. Part of the reason why we don't want to buy a house in Vegas is because once the kids are off and on to college and stuff, we don't plan to stay there. And we'll probably retreat back up here. I'll use this as our home base. We want to buy some more land, like outside of town, so we can like on the get away, go out there and have some more nature kind of stuff. But then we're gonna get probably a bigger RV than maybe a big fifth wheel and just drive, travel around. Yep. Yeah, car payments. I'm not a fan of car payments. I mean, we have some right now, but as I said, we're even right now trying to figure out ways to get out of those.
Mm-hmm.
Matt says, that Husky workbench shows 198 in stock and Branson there.
You should go get it.
You should get it. Nathan says, don't get your panties in the wad. I support American jobs. Dude, you're the one who brought it on. You come there and say something like, I know I told you about American tools and tool companies I support. Then you sit there and say something like, you don't support, America. And what's someone supposed to take away from that? That's a leading kind of accusation. The fact of the matter is, companies like Harbor Freight's an American company. They have over 1,000 stores. Who do you think works in those stores? Americans. If you want to have an issue with American industry, talk to the unions. The unions are what killed American industry because the prices, the companies can't afford it, and they got people outbidding them. So, I mean, that's what's going to happen. And we don't have the infrastructure right now to handle most of that manufacturing. Now, the good news is that robotics are bringing manufacturing back to the States, but they're not bringing as many of the jobs with it. They're bringing 1/10 of jobs because they're robots doing American jobs. So when you say stuff like, I support these American tool companies, those are mostly robotic companies doing that, right? So are you supporting American jobs or American robots?
Simon Tech says, I have an older truck for you. It's only a 69.
Oh, I'd like that. I would. I drive a 99 Camry. It's great. Oh, I had the 6-cylinder Camry. I think it was a 91. It was super boxy, man, and it had the same engine that was in the Cressida, and it was a company car, and it was a lot of fun. I like a workbench made out of 2 sheets of 7.5 plywood and light color Formica. That sounds like a good setup. Makes it easy to see what you got when you're working on. Anyone see the first episode of This Old House? I don't know if I've seen specifically the first episode. I used to watch it back in the day. I grew up watching that. And the New Yankee Workshop. Whatever happened to the Yukon cabinet? I was waiting for those to match the workbench. They were a trial tool or trial thing, and they had issues with shipping. My understanding is they're coming back out and going to be rolled out to all stores, but they're trying to find a cost-effective way of shipping the cabinets that don't end up with them all being dented.
Yeah. That's a no-go.
I got 4 boxes of Sears receipt paper if you want them.
Oh. I'm good.
Bear's correct when I was up there. It's small.
Yep.
Yeah. It's 100 and some was. It was built in 1890, so they didn't build many big houses back then.
Yeah.
You got to check Sears' website. They shuffle things around to where some stuff goes in, goes out, and being available online. Also, if you order from an in-store terminal, it's free ship. Yes, but I'm trying to get those cabinets. I was trying to order that Craftsman cabinet, and I was like online, it's saying it's stock. I put it in the cart, go to order, go to pay for it. Boom, your item's not in stock.
Went to the store like 4 times?
Yeah, they said the item's in stock at the store. Go to the store. No, we don't have that.
Yep. We think we have it. We don't have it. We're not sure if we have it.
Your minds.
Brett says, I love the feedback on your channel. You answer most questions. Don't get that from many channels. I do. I mean, we're here to talk to you guys. I'm not here just to listen to myself talk.
Yeah.
I can do that in the bathroom.
And I hear him enough, so it's nice to interact with other people.
Where we go? Patricia Wells. I'm 49, but who's counting? See, she's just a youngin'. Right. Seeing the Catus Maximus channel, he has a ton of videos on various different tools and larger overviews comparing the different types. Some of the small things from Harbor Freight, like the wire. He covers actually a lot of the Harbor Freight stuff, not just the small things. He doesn't do like the workbenches and the bigger power tools and stuff, but a lot of the hand tools. I know he's included the ratchets and a bunch of other stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he's a viewer on our channel also under a different name. But if it's somebody using the same icon for their thing, so maybe it's different, just be odd because anyway. 50 is the new 30, 30 is the new 21. By the way, my name is Michael. This is my Mama Bears account. Just loathing those Harbor Freight MBAs. The reason for the incessant free. Oh, Harbor Freight, their marketing is one of those things. I'm planning to do like the top 10 things that sucks about Harbor Freight. And one of them's going to be the marketing. The marketing is just like, it was great in the 70s when people fell for that kind of stuff. It's not the 70s anymore. The average consumer is way more educated on that kind of stuff. We're almost, immune because it's all over the place these days. It's just noise. They just need to be more forthcoming in the advertising. They need to get past the gimmicky stuff.
I'm really hot. Sorry.
I'll say. Echo says the Predator one. Oh, I've not heard anything bad about that. Anything with the Predator motor on it has been awesome from all feedback that I've gotten. There's a 2-story camper available right now.
What?
Are you talking about the one that was on Big Trucks, Big RV? That thing is insane. It's a park camper, to be honest, but which is just shy of being a mobile home, but it's pretty awesome. What's the best affordable jointer? Depends on what you mean by affordable. I like the Q-Tech one. Looks a lot like the Porter Cable, but they use a spiral helical head. And that's going to give you a way smoother cut. And I think you can get it for just over $300. It's only a 4-inch, though. Just catch those cars on fire, collect the insurance with it.
Nice. Don't feed the trolls.
Don't feed the trolls.
Something about Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, Dunkin' Donuts Express in the back of every store. I said that they should put in like a lounge area with like a soda coffee machine kind of thing.
What is that place called? Fry's. Most
Oh,
Fry's.
Fry's.
They have some sort of like little cafe kind of thing in the center, which is genius. They also have really large bathrooms, probably not applicable to you gentlemen, but if you're nursing, they have a whole section that is for nursing moms that you can relax. And it's like a comfy chair and it's private.
When you do fully retreat up there, make sure your drone batteries can't be easily connected. Yeah, or disconnected. Tell me about that.
Yes.
Don't let the trolls get you down. You don't have to explain everything to those idiots and morons. They just want to fight for no reason at all.
They're bored.
That's true. Here's my issue: is those people say something, and we've got a policy in the family of get involved. Like we saw somebody on the side of the road, and a couple was having a fight. Well, not a fight, full-on fight, a tiff. And the guy bought a new truck, didn't understand. They got a flat tire. They were on a first date. He didn't know where the jack was. I'd happened to have that kind of truck as a rental, had a flat a few months prior, knew exactly where the jack was. I overheard them, came over, said, "Hey, sorry, can I help?" And they're like, blah, blah. And I said, "I take it you're looking for the jack." And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "It's under the back seat." And he's like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "It really is." He's like, "How do you know that?" I said, and I explained, I had a rental. But the point is, we stepped up and got involved. And part of that also goes to this kind of thing with the trolls. If you let the trolls get a foothold, they start mouthing that, and then other people feed off it and think, "Oh, that guy maybe knows something." No, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. There's nothing simple about global economics. And sitting there saying, well, if you buy from a company that's not 100% U.S. made, then you don't support America. That's a bunch of BS. And people need to understand that these people don't know what they're talking about. So I find it's best to get the facts out there quick and show that you're coming from a point of authority. I'm not just some guy who also turned wrenches. I'm a guy who ran a multi-million-dollar company. I've run several, started and sold businesses. I'm the guy. I do work today. I work a 60-hour week, at least. I do stuff on the channel. I write books. I do.
Up early and late to bed.
Yeah. So you can't let the misinformation get a foothold, because if you do, then other people start feeding on it, thinking that is accurate.
Hey, Justin Dow.
The Yukon Toolbox. Sorry, I was meaning to answer that. You're talking about the 9. Wait, are you talking about the garage Yukon or the 9 drawer? The 9 drawer went away, I think, because it conflicted too much with the U.S. General. I've seen them kind of tease it back at a higher price point, but it's so high at that point people will be like, "I'll just buy the U.S. General." I think they're having a hard time finding that good entry point, with U.S. General being the better and the new Icon stuff coming out being the best. Shell's Edge says, if you end up picking up the Suburban, you should make a vinyl decal that reads Suburban. Nice. Well, 81 Ford F-250 here. I like those. That's no, like people talking about, like, what are your brands and stuff. Right now I drive a Ram. I love my Ram. I don't have a problem with Fords. I don't have a problem with Chevys. There's certain years where I wouldn't buy them because the Ford in that year has a bad transmission. The Chevy in that year has a bad rear diff. The Ram in that year, my Ram, has a problem with what do you call it? The bolts in the headers. The exhaust manifold, I should say. Dave says, the company I work for has identical work centers here as in China. We tool them up, test, and then ship the production to China. Michael, hey Mike. I wish I was 49 too, but I'm going to be 57 in a couple weeks. Oh, happy birthday. 99 Tahoe and 12 Subi hatchback here. That is a cute little Subaru he's got. Yeah, most people realize you can't have a tool liquidation sale every month. It's, I can laugh about it. I like what Harbor Freight does. I like the people over there, but I can still sit there and say, look, you guys are making fools of yourselves with the marketing. Friends tell friends when they're doing something stupid. Doesn't mean they're going to listen. Brother Bear, Justin Dow in the house. Tool Hacker, how's it going? Why does it seem like Harbor Freight sales are all the same items? Well, so here's what I heard, is that if Harbor Freight puts a coupon on an item, it's because the item actually sells well. And they do that to incentivize sales, continued sales of that item. If it doesn't have an item, a sale or a coupon that comes out for it regularly, and they just rely on the super coupons for that kind of stuff, then it's because it's a low sales volume item. Why? So, and that's probably why you always see them in the same catalogs, because those are the hot items. What's a good affordable palm router? How about the Harbor Freight? I have the DeWalt, and I know it's like $120 some, so I don't know if I call it affordable for a palm router. Maybe somebody else could chime in and let you know. I'm planning to buy the 700cc Predator engine for my riding mower. I'm excited to try it. If you go back, I actually ended up, and no, you're not going to find this deal. I got a return refurbished one at a Harbor Freight for $100. It was $100, so I had to buy it. And I thought I was going to do a project with it, never got around to it. Ended up selling it to a guy who does professional lawn care. He put it into a riding lawnmower. He said it works awesome and it's amazing. He sent me a thank you email afterwards because I gave him such a great deal. Do you think we'll see any news on upgraded lathes at Harbor Freight? I don't think so. Not anytime soon. I just don't. They sell them consistently, but it's not a huge hot selling item. Shh, guys. I don't hear about your video games over there. What's a good? Oh, we just talked about the affordable palm router. Two things most Harbor Freight guys like: cigarettes and coffee. I'm the exception. I'll drink coffee, but it's not my go-to, and I'm not a smoker. I mean, I'll have a cigar every so often, but that's it. I just want to be in the marketing meeting at Harbor Freight when they bring up nursing moms. Nathan got put in timeout. Frugal Prepper's Garage. I buy American if I can, but not. If not, I can buy a much less expensive tool that will do the job as long as it turns a bolt, saves me money, makes this American money. That's kind of the way the whole economy thing works. You know what happens when you just buy American? You end up with Chrysler in the 80s or GM, and they get lackadaisical and they put out crap products, and it basically kills the industry. Saying buy American and buying that just because it's going to help, all that does is create an artificial subsidy that these companies rely on so that they can put more money in the pockets. And it doesn't go to they don't put it in the pockets of the people working on the line. They put it in the pockets of the guys, the rich SOBs up top. So you got to have an understanding of how way economics actually work.
Kentucky 65, it's okay that you're late. You'll just have to bring treats next week. I like chocolate.
Yes, I agree with what you said about the trolls, that they need to be educated, but you can always use what my grandfather used to educate me, a nice 2x4. And here's the honest answer is, I don't really care about the trolls because you're never going to convince them because they're always going to think they're right, that they know more, regardless of how much knowledge they have. Because otherwise they wouldn't come out and say this stuff to begin with. It's the people who listen to them who aren't quite sure and think that this guy sounds confident, so he must really know what he's talking about. That's the person. It's the secondary and tertiary people that are hearing this and think that maybe this guy has a point. Then they learn, well, he doesn't. He's not going to change his point of view. Let's see here. Harbor Freight credit card, disagree or dangerous? Or dangerous or genius? It's both. I worry about it. I worry about young guys getting into the trades, getting access to easy credit. Here's the difference, though. At least they're getting affordable tools with a company that's going to stand behind it, as opposed to getting on the tool truck and buying outrageously expensive tools. I need to do a video. I've been planning to do a video. Hey, Justin, maybe you can help it out. Maybe we can do a collab. We can get 4 or 5 other creators together, and we can come out with a shopping list for like a 40 or 50-inch tool chest completely filled for your starters. Average, I know it's not, you don't know which kind of job you're going to have, but your average starting, this is my first day on the job tool chest, and that people can then shop from. It doesn't have to be Harbor Freight. It can be, anybody, but at least at that point, they're going to have the bill that they'll have, their tool bill will be way lower than a Matco or a Mac or Cornwell or God help us, a Snap-on. So, Were you gonna say something?
Nope, I'm just trying to read without
Because you don't have your glasses?
Yep.
2004 Dodge Ram has been in the shop since January, just getting new heads installed.
Oh.
Yeah. The logo for the Icon Tools looks too much like IKEA. I can see that. Just watched the latest Attack on Titan episode. Oh, I haven't seen that.
Attack on Titan is so good.
Oh my gosh. We've been catching up on Stranger Things around here. Best part about the Dodge Ram truck is you can dodge cars and ram them. There's a great meme going around about people driving Dodges and hitting things, and they say, too much ram, not enough dodge. The only thing I don't like about your truck is the turn knob shifter. I've done a video on it. I hate that thing. Yes, it's great for fuel economy. I hate it with a passion. Wait, then the Harbor Freight batteries actually sell?
Yep.
Let's see here. Dick says he doesn't drink coffee or smoke. Zach says he has a small wood lathe from Harbor Freight, totally bulletproof. It's a clone of the old Jet. It's not an exact clone, but it's close enough. And a lot of woodworkers who need, a second. A lot of woodworkers use them. And if you go to what's the name of it? Lumberjacks. There's a lot of older guys who'll tell you how to get those things running perfectly. Ford Flex has lay-down seats. I used one to move most of my house. There's a lot of room in those things. A lot more than the people, think about.
Wait. Anyone know a good resource for troubleshooting an air compressor? My Harbor Freight 29-gallon won't turn off after I replace the broken tank pressure gauge. Did you guys forget where you are? Duncan?
I didn't do anything.
So, does anyone have any troubleshooting ideas?
Where was that question?
Up here.
Good research for troubleshooting air compressor. My Harbor Freight 29-gallon won't turn on after I replace the broken tank pressure gauge.
Is it not skilled?
Check there's a reset button on the back of the motor. Check, there's a little breaker in there. That is the number one reason a compressor like that won't turn on. You should do a video on stuff made in America in Harbor Freight. That's going to be a short list, unfortunately. No, it's one of the reasons why I talk about Tecton so much. It's an affordable company that has a lot of stuff that's made in the U.S. Do I need to separate you two?
Yes.
Griff, go. Duncan.
Let's see here. Hold on.
Oh, somebody has to go.
Daniel got out of the hospital again. Did they release you or did you escape?
Yes.
Escapee.
That would be me. Justin, I'll follow up with you, and I got your number. I'll shoot you a text message. That would be a great collab to do. It is getting warm in here, isn't it?
It is.
Justin Dow. Hey, big shout out. Pause for Justin Dow. 6 weeks, no smoking. Stay strong, brother. You can do it. At the very least, we can see you in your live streams now.
Yes.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's times.
Hey, Echo Belkin says, I have a flex. It's what my channel's about. Awesome.
I'll check that out. Bullen says, I love the video where the girl took a Tesla 3 and made an S10 style truck out of it. I did see something. I didn't watch the video. I should have watched it. When Tesla makes a truck, I might jump to electric. There's actually, hold on. There's a truck that I want. Electric, let's see here. It is. I'm trying to remember who makes it. It is the Bollinger. So I want this truck in the worst way. Let me pull it up here. Yeah, window capture. There we go. So this thing, this is all the same truck. Here's the cool thing about this truck. Because it's electric, there's no engine there. So you see how the back, you can actually fold down the front part of the engine, and it's a total pass-through. You can put like 20-foot long boards through there and drive it around. Here, you can see there with the full pass-through on it. That awesome. Also, you see that cord right there? There is a plug, a 110-volt plug in it, so you could go out somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Talk about having a remote work site vehicle. Go out in the middle of nowhere, plug your tool in, carry your lumber. Anyway, and I'm a big fan of torque. You gotta love torque, and that's electric vehicles are the masters of high torque. So, does Harbor Freight make an oil impulse driver? I don't. There might be one in the Chicago line that I don't know about, but I don't think so. I'm not a fan of them, but I know they don't make one in the cordless. Everyone and their mom has a Tesla here in Silicon Valley. Dan, correct? It has replaced the BMW, has it not? All the young guys used to have. Up and comers, they'd buy the BMW Model 3s, and then the guys in management would get the 6s and stuff, and the 7s. The 5s and the 7s. The 6s were the sporty one. And the Tesla has replaced all of those.
Brad, not Brad's workbench, but right underneath Brad's workbench, says, does Harbor Freight make an oil impulse driver? I might have missed the answer earlier.
You fell asleep, didn't you?
No, I was looking something up.
It's okay. You're looking tired. I'm feeling pretty tired.
I don't feel good.
Is it brushless? The truck? I don't know what the question was about there. Well, the doctor was not sure if I was going to get my medication. I called the store, and they had them on. Oh, geez. Well, we're glad you're out and doing better. I had one nasty bacteria that literally beat me down. I would escape if they would keep. I was there. Was that 4 or 5 years ago? I got a leg infection that just would not.
It was really bad.
Yeah, I ended up in the hospital. The day before I'd done a CCW class, and I thought I was going to fall over, and I didn't realize why. And that night I hit 107 temperature. For an adult, that's not a good thing. For anybody, that's not a good thing. For an adult, that's scary as hell. There's an electric pickup going to be out in 2020. It does over 400 miles, and Ford and Amazon invested in it. I think it's Ridgeline. I've heard about something like that. I'm definitely want to see it. I saw the pics for the supposed Tesla pickup. That did not look good, but I'm a big fan of electric vehicles. I really am. And it's not for the reasons that like most people are. Like I don't care about the environment. I do. I want the environment to be out there, but I'm not buying it because of that. I'm buying it because I like torque. I don't like going to gas stations. And with the new high-speed stations, you can top off 80% of that battery in 10, 15 minutes, which is about as long as my usual, gas pump stop.
Montana Handlebar, good night. All have to be up early tomorrow for work. Shine on all. Shine on.
Shine
Have
on.
a great night.
What time's it? We're in Mountain. Tom, yep, that's exactly what it was. Yeah. They make up a pickup also. They make an SUV. It's 4-wheel drive. They're fantastic looking vehicles made in the USA up in Detroit. Are you talking about Tesla? Oh, you're talking about the other company. Sorry. I'm a big fan of the Tesla Model X. I've seen some of those modded out. They're pretty sweet. Since November, this makes the 17th hospital stay. Leg infection was the other issue. I'm sorry, man. I'm glad you're out, though.
He's asking where the term "shine on" comes from.
Used to be a moonshiner. Well, I mean, so I've got stills and stuff. I'm the author of the best-selling book in the world on how to make moonshine. And I spent some time in Kentucky and learned a thing or two and ended up writing a book about it. And you can find it in the link of most of my videos.
Ooh.
What?
Is that a vehicle?
Hold on.
Sorry, the desk seating situation has us sort of sitting on top of each other.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Oh, the Panther.
Nice.
The big, the European firefighter. They use them at the airports and stuff.
I think we need two.
Yeah, we need 2 of them, definitely.
Well, because you're going to want to drive it.
For those of you who don't know, and he does, is that the missus loves big trucks.
Yep.
Because she likes to be able to run over people who bother her on the highway.
Not like every day, but like should
Every other day.
happen and I need to leave and you're in my way, I win.
It's funny here seeing an Uber driver in a $90,000 Tesla. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the older Model S's to come down in resale value. I'd rather have a Model X, really, because it's more upright seating kind of position. But I do love those cars. All right.
Property tax in Montana just went up. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not as bad as like some cities, but there's no sales tax in Montana, so they make it up with property tax. I'd say it's about average, I think, for the country, right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, a lot of people are like, well, I think it would be lower. Well, there's no sales tax, and everything else is cheaper.
Yes, I like to run people over who don't understand economics. That's exactly
yeah.
right. Mm-hmm.
Tool Hacker says, just want to say I love the show. Thanks for spending your Saturday nights with us. Great family. We love having you guys. You've become our family. You really have. And we love talking to you all and spending our time with all of you here. She can't cook bacon on a grill.
That's right. That's right.
She knows where I
You
sleep.
laugh
What can I
now.
say?
I'm going to cook some bacon in your grill, too. Granted, I think you wanted to do a cookie exchange, so I might let it slide.
I saw one of those. I don't understand how people drive smart cars. It's just asking to be squished. As I tell the kids, you can't trust other drivers. There's going to be an idiot out there, and if you're in a smart car, you've got no room for error, as it were. You are the crumple zone.
Simon Tech says, Mrs. Bear, I'm a firefighter and EVOC instructor. EVOC. I'm tired.
Emergency
vehicle something.
Overcharger? I don't know.
Does that mean that you drive really big vehicles and want to teach me? Because that would be amazing.
Daniel says, I want a new C8. I'm going to Montana to purchase it. I bet the insurance is got to be cheap too. No. Automotive insurance here is higher than most places in the country. Why? Drunk rednecks on the road.
No.
Yeah, it is. And winter driving. It is higher here. Driving. You think it'd be higher than or lower than in Vegas with all the car theft and something. No, Vegas is cheaper. People in Vegas can't drive worth a squat.
Dick Tickles wants to know, so you sailed a sloop in the Caribbean?
Yes. I've sailed the, what do you call it? The Drake's Passage from St. Thomas. Yeah, you bounce forth back between the British Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and I've sailed around Jamaica and in Mexico and the Caribbean side in Mexico. And so everything from a small one, say about a 30-footer, and then I crewed on one trip on a 60-footer. I think it was a Swan. And there's nothing like sailing in the Caribbean. You're skipping from one island to the next, and you can see it, and they're all around you. And
Yeah, so that would not work for me.
That motor, the islands being around you?
Because my directional abilities are bananas, and we would end up in the Bermuda Triangles.
Yeah. And you cut that motor off, and the spinnaker pops out, and you catch the wind. Yeah, that's heaven for me.
Emergency Vehicle Operations Instructor.
There you go.
That sounds great. Where do I sign up? Hopefully.
How do you think it would work with only electric cars if you had to tow a trailer? Put extra batteries at the front of the trailer. You're going to have more than enough power pulling the trailer. Getting the power is easier. It's easier to get power out of an electric motor system than it is out of a gas. The reason why gas became prevalent was the portability of the power source. The first cars were electric for a reason. If you have a trailer, if you add battery capacity to the trailer, now you carry the battery power that's going to compensate for the weight of the vehicle that you're towing. Yes. I've thought about this a lot.
Walt says too many suicidal deer in Montana.
Oh my gosh, moose!
True.
Last year we hit almost 5 moose.
Well, I think that 3 of them were the same moose. It was just really dumb. I was like, little moosey, even though you're not little, get off the road because you're going to damage our car. I was like, hey, how's it going? I like to hang out in the middle of the road where there's no speed limit.
Carson says you should do a screwdriver comparison. That amongst, that's a great idea. I've been collecting screwdrivers. That's part of it's on my to-do list. I've got about 8 of them right now.
The brands.
Yes.
Carson's Exploring Channel.
Wyoming is also a big truck state. Yes, it is. I love Wyoming. Higher speed limits in Montana. You'd think, because it used to be the state that had no speed limit during the day. The speed limit here, I think the max is 80. I think I've seen 85 in Utah. Mm-hmm. It's like, in North Dakota. Oh, I love driving in North Dakota in the summer. You get on the highways and they're just long, because they're in the prairie states, and they're just long, sweeping, broad, wide. You just fly. You feel like you're driving on top of the earth because you're so far north and you just see for miles.
Echo, we will have to figure out about the cookie exchange. If you ship them to Vegas, they will melt. They will probably be incinerated, even if they don't have chocolate in them. It's so hot there. So we'll have to figure something out. But we'll talk. I'll have my people, just me, talk to your people.
TC says, if you get to 50,000 subscribers before 2020, what's your fave video you posted? Mine's the one where you talked about the sky falling because Harbor Freight is changing their pricing. It's very funny. My favorite video that I posted, oh man, that's a hard one. The one with this. Oh, yeah, I think my favorite, she's right. My favorite one is the one I did for the Fortress air compressor. And that's just because of the intro on it. I had so much fun with that. And I got a lot of feedback. People liked it a lot. That was a lot of fun. I really like doing... My favorite videos I want to do are these tool comparison videos. That's what I wanted to do when I got started. But, funds and time, I was still working full time when we started the channel. So those have been a big limiting factor. But now, we're planning to do a lot more of it. The Simple time for cookie exchange, winter time.
Yep.
Christmas cookie exchange.
That would be really fun.
That sounds like a good time.
I'm writing this down.
I love Christmas cookies. I love cookies, let's be honest. Well, folks, guys and gals, brother and sister bears, it's that time. It's 11 o'clock here. We started at 7, so 7 to 11. That's our 4 hours. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us this entire time. Thank you so much. If you had a good time, think about hitting that like button, sharing the video, and, and come on back next week because we love having you here.
Absolutely.
Anyway, you all take care. And, as we always say, shine on.